The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, sir. Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Friday, August 27th. This is the Pat McAfee Show. I am AJ Hawk, sitting in for Pat, who is battling COVID at the moment. Yeah, that may be AJ. Hell yeah. Still pretty early, boys, but hey, we'll figure it out. This is my third day running it from over here in Ohio. I know the boys are back in Indianapolis, seem to be doing well. I'm sure they're the Hammer Down boys are getting all their stuff situated for their show that will be on 15 minutes after this show today, I believe. I hope you guys are still running on this Friday.
Thank you,
even
AJ.
in Pat's his weary state. Has anyone got any more updates from him? I know I've talked to him. He's coming in waves. He's going up and down with his fever. Where is he at right now?
I think he is doing much better this morning. He said he's pretty congested, but same deal. I don't think he had what last time we talked to him, he didn't have a fever this morning. So hopefully we're on the other side of this thing.
All right. Yeah, I think Pat even texted me. He said, I think this is the final stage. And I sent a text back and I said, before death? Question mark.
No.
He hasn't gotten back to me, so I don't know yet. Hopefully he's reached out to you guys.
You scumbag, dude. You did this. You fucking did this yesterday. I told you not to do it, so quit doing it.
Knock it off.
Hey, keep pointing at me, boy. I love it.
Yeah, now you
continue to point at me. Yeah. Continue, please. And Diggs, you probably gave him COVID, bud. You probably gave him COVID.
Whoa, Hawk. I'm an immunicorn first and foremost.
You don't know that. Have you been tested for antibodies lately?
What?
Okay, that's all the answer we
That's
needed.
a no, AJ. That's a no. The antibodies course through these veins, okay? I had it. I beat it, okay? And secondly, I tested negative, so don't fucking come at me, pal.
Okay, all right. I'll back off a little bit. We'll look around to the NFL landscape, see what's happening. I know there are preseason games week 3. It's going to get wild. People say there might be some games where the 3s are playing against the 1s. And guess what? 12:30, we're going to have Ross Tucker. He's going to join us. Let us know. He's calling the Jets-Eagles game tonight, and I know he wants to talk about anything. He's open for any kind of constructive criticism. From the boys, he did tell me he was aware that maybe the boys had an issue with some of the chatter he had going back and forth with his last preseason game. He was working with whoever his play-by-play guy is. Are you guys going to ask him about this?
Look, he was fine the last preseason game. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. Whatever I may have said last Friday might have been an overreaction, all right, pal? So I'm not going to bring that up. Russ Tucker's a Patriot. Come on. Played for New England. I love the guy.
Okay. All right, Carter. We understand. We'll see what happens when we get Ross Tucker here at 12:30. But I think some of the biggest news probably, which I thought, to me, I was assuming this was probably going to happen, but Jameis Winston, is he, as Sean Payton said, is he officially the starter, or are we trying to – okay, here we go. Ian Rappaport says the Saints have not yet made an official announcement, but all signs point to QB Jameis Winston being their starter. Sources say, given the way he played last week, this is not a surprise. It will also allow Taysom Hill to fill his valuable gadget do-everything role. But does Taysom Hill want that role still, and is he willing to do that role? Have we heard anything?
No, well, there was like a massive congratulations apparently in the locker room around Jameis yesterday. So although he doesn't officially say it, apparently it is definitely official that Jameis is the starter. But to your point, I don't know if Taysom is all of a sudden just going to walk back his comments, because he said, I think it was last week, maybe it was even earlier in the week, that he views himself as a QB1. If the Saints don't, then he's basically just got to figure out a way to get out of there. So I don't know what's going to happen. They definitely need him, especially with those 2 tight ends getting hurt too. But it'll be interesting to see. Definitely a developing situation in New Orleans.
Do you think this is ultimately kind of on Sean Payton, because he said, like, he's my Steve Young, and he kind of set these, like, almost unrealistic expectations around Taysom Hill?
And does that mean Jason is Joe Montana?
Jason.
Wait,
I say Jason.
What, Jason?
Combined
Jason?
the two.
Does that mean Jameis is Joe Montana?
He might be. I mean, I guess it is. It was a bit surprising when Sean Payton made those remarks about Taysom, right? But do you think he probably said those, and I'm guessing he meant it at the time. But do you think is it possible that he got Taysom kind of as a full-time QB for a little bit, and he didn't develop and see he wasn't able to run the offense that Sean Payton wants to run?
Yeah, well, even if he meant it at the time, he still went with Teddy B 2 years ago, before he said, or after he said that, rather. So I think because of what he does on the field outside of throwing the ball, it's too valuable to take away. But clearly, he doesn't view it that way. He thinks he's the QB1 or can be a QB1. So we'll see what happens, but New Orleans needs him to be playing with Jameis, because if they're no Michael Thomas for the first 7 weeks, they really only have Kamara. If they don't, have success running the football, and then they have to sling it around with Jameis, they need another guy. And Taysom is perfect to be out there running slant routes, little RPOs for the guy.
Well, guess who's coming to town week 1? Ty Schmidt's Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers, full of love and light and gratitude and appreciation. He's going to come into New Orleans, and I'm sure he is looking to put on a show. And I think that Green Bay defense wants to be improved as well with a new D coordinator. Pettin is out of there, so let's see what happens there. But Jameis, hey, big test week 1, I guess.
Yeah.
Green Bay's defense, obviously, I think they are very solid, and I think Green Bay's offense is only getting better from where they were last year. Now they most likely will not have old Takatari out there left tackle, but let's see what happens. I don't know. What's the timetable on old Justin Takatari?
I have no idea, to be honest. I mean, I saw some stuff from camp, just like a few videos. Like he's doing stuff. It looks like he looks pretty good, but I have no idea when.
Has he been in pads yet? Have you seen him?
I don't think so. No.
I've seen like the Instagram post from Aaron when he and Takatari are walking in like the tunnel, and Aaron has all his pads on like he practiced, and obviously Justin's got just like this jersey and shorts on, so he's doing stuff on the side, I guess. When did he have surgery? Do you guys know exactly?
I think right after,
I
think January or February.
Yeah, I think it was like almost immediately after, maybe like a week or so after he tore his ACL, and he was done for the season because,
right before the NFC Championship.
January 7th.
Okay, so he's got he's over 7 months out of there, I guess. Usually I guess back in the day ACLs used to be like 9 months to a year. Now guys get back anywhere from 6 to 9 months, I feel like 6 to 11. I feel 100% usually a year after that. Who knows? Everyone's different, but yeah, he's a huge piece to that offensive line. We saw what happens when they don't have him in. It's not good, but I mean, going back to the Jameis situation, did you guys have any doubt? Like, I know a lot of people thought Taysom may still be named the starter. I feel like Jameis he almost ran away with this thing, and it wasn't anything that Taysom did wrong. First off, this picture we're looking at, look at Taysom's quads. Yeah. This dude is jacked.
Yoked.
The only doubt I had was not because of the way Jameis or Taysom was playing, is because it seemed like Sean Payton wanted Taysom Hill to win this job, but then Jameis just kept playing too good. So I didn't know what Sean Payton was going to do just by what he was saying in the media and stuff like that. But I think everyone eye test was it should be Jameis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does seem that way. Maybe he didn't want to feel like he was losing a player, and maybe he feels like he's losing somebody when he names Jameis the starter, because we don't know what Taysom's role is going to be. If Taysom could very well ask for a trade, don't you think? I know my good buddy Brady Papinga, he's a diehard BYU guy. He is calling for Taysom to ask for a trade. Do you think we could see that happen?
Well, I don't know how it works with the voidable contract, because if a team were to trade for him and he were to play very well, would they have to pay at the most $40 million for him because of that voidable contract? Or when he gets traded, does that kind of just get canceled out almost?
Well, I mean, in his contract, I don't think there's anything that says there's no stats or any number or anything that he can do that says, okay, we have to pay you $40 million a year, is it?
I don't think so. I just know that the conversation I think we had on Monday with Pat was that because the voidable contract, it is that's the most you can get is the $40 million. And if that's what he has right now as far as, extension wise, then that's probably what he's going to ask, or at least, 30 to 40.
His contract's basically a 1 year deal, the way I understand it. 1 year deal, and he's getting $1 million in base salary. He just got a bump of some signing bonus.
And that's $10 million.
And that's a way that they can push that down and get it off their cap this year by his salary only being $1 million, and it's all in a bonus.
Is it odd at all that this came out now? If there is a legitimate QB competition going into the first week of the season, does it really matter that much in terms of like an opposing defense and game planning to like not have them not know who you're actually going to, like, because now the Packers have a full week of preparation knowing that Jameis is the starter. Does that matter at all, you think?
It does matter a little bit, and a lot of coaches are more secretive than others and won't name a starter, mainly if it is like a situation with Jameis and Taysom to where they're two different style quarterbacks. Like, that's when it can make a difference.
Right.
If you're choosing between two drop back quarterbacks, then no, it honestly doesn't matter who the quarterback is. But when they kind of played different styles of ball and the offense changes a little bit, the other defense, sure, they have another week to work on just Jameis, but guess what? They're still worried about Taysom because who knows what Taysom's package is. So they may have more to work on now because you're not exactly sure how they will employ Taysom. He's probably going to be all over the field. I mean, they don't have a lot of weapons right now, especially with Michael Thomas out. So week one should be very fun to watch.
Well, and we've talked about it before too. Like, week one starter obviously matters, but like if he comes out and the Packers beat them by 40, like there's definitely going to be some rumblings of maybe you wheel Taysom out week 2, week 3 if he continues to struggle. But all signs point to him playing well, especially if he's dropping balls in the bucket like he was against the Jags the other night.
And if Callaway continues his dominance and what he's able to do, catching the ball down the field. We know Jameis likes to sling that thing. You just got to find a way to limit his turnovers. But I quickly wanted to pivot to Phil Rivers. First off, 2 questions for you. A, does Scott Zolak love rap music or does he hate it? And B, is Phil Rivers the greatest high school coach of all time?
B, yes, Phil Rivers is, in fact, the greatest high school coach of all time.
Still hasn't been scored on.
Still hasn't been scored on. Probably won't the entire year. Zolak, I believe, only listens to like AC/DC and U2, so I don't believe that he is a big rap guy. But Ty brought up a great point earlier. Could you imagine being like going into your senior year of high school and Phil Rivers slides in and is your head coach for the next 15 games to the state championship, which they will win? How incredible would that be?
I mean, I think it'd be awesome because the dude was just playing months ago in the NFL. The fact that he's your head coach right now, I think it's great. And if you look at Phil, he looks the part, man. He's got the coaching gear, he's got the hat, the headset. I'm sure he is heavily involved in the offense and what they run, and he does great interviews too. We all know that.
Oh, yeah.
This dude is pure gold when he speaks to the media, and it seems to be super authentic too. So he has like 9 kids. Do any of them play on this team?
I want to say it was at least one of his kids maybe at this school. I don't know if he's on a team. I don't know if he's old enough. But
I'm not sure. I think he's like a freshman.
I'm just going to say yes, playing the odds, yeah.
Yeah,
there's a good chance. I mean, they won 49-0 week 1. But going back to Scott, how do you pronounce his last name?
Zolak.
Yeah, Zolak. You said Zolak. I feel like it's
all right. I'm just telling you. Asked me, pal.
You're
Scott
a Boston
Zolak.
dude. He was a former quarterback, and he's been there. He's been the voice of their games for years, man. You don't know how to say his last name?
Well, yeah, he's been the voice for their games for years, and I won't bring up another guy that, I didn't have too much love for, but I definitely mute the TV or turn it very, very low a lot of the time he's talking because of shit like this. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Cam Newton has to stop listening to rap music.
Well, hey, quit fucking dancing on the field.
Yeah, hey, maybe, but I saw someone, I think it was Will Blackman, someone sent it to the group of Brady, like they were listening to the Migos. I think this was leading up to the week of the AFC Championship, and he was dancing. It's just, this is one of the most ridiculous things I think I've ever read, and it's a real bummer that it has to come from a guy from Boston who's talking about football. I mean, we're talking about music here. Like, give me a break.
Hey, but Scott Zolak, though, he knew what he was doing by saying, he absolutely knew that this was going to ruffle some feathers, as they like to say. Maybe he knew, like, hey, slow news time right now here in the next, 7 days, so let me throw something out there to get people chatting about, I guess. But, man, so he's saying Cam would throw a ball, and the music is still playing, and Cam would instantly start dancing, and he claims he wasn't engaged or focused because of that. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, basically is that he would take a rep, throw it, and then he would dance while Mac was going and do a little, how you doing? And then he would go in, take another rep, and for some reason for Zolak, that is what's leading Cam to, perform not to optimal levels. But clearly, I mean, this is bullshit. This obviously isn't a legitimate reason that Cam isn't playing well or wouldn't be playing well because of rap music. I mean, it's legitimately ridiculous.
would it be any better if it was a different genre of music and Cam was still dancing to say something else?
Well, I bet if it was Toby Keith, he'd say, hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. Cam loves Toby Keith. He's playing well.
Hey, the only thing I would ask Zolak is, if the coaches thought it was an issue, don't you think Bill Belichick or McDaniels would say something to Cam, be like, hey, man, like, cut it out. Like, we're not going to do this. Or they would cut the music out. Like, I'd imagine if this thing really was a problem, the coaches would have this cut off a long time ago.
Yeah, and a big thing that like Bill loves about Cam is the energy that he brings every day. And maybe, for some people, music and dancing isn't the right energy for football, but it seems to get the boys pretty juiced. And also, he's not the only one dancing. Like, there's plenty of videos of like Kendrick Bourne and some of the wide receivers like doing a little
Gerard Mayo,
the
D coordinator.
Yes, like, so it just it's ridiculous. But to your point, what you said earlier kind of makes me think he definitely did this on purpose because it is a slow news cycle right now. So he says, fuck it, I'll just say Cam Newton's playing bad because of rap music, and people will take it and run, which they have.
I think Bill Belichick, we've talked, like, he has spoken very highly of Cam Newton and what he has done and the culture there. I bet you Bill loves this. He loves, like, Cam being out there and being so open and energizing his teammates. I bet there's times when Bill's like, hey, man, like, guys, I wish these dudes would have some fun. Like, they think I don't want to have fun. I wish they'd enjoy it and, like, loosen up a little bit. And I think Cam does that for him, so Bill doesn't have to. And it's probably fun. Like, if someone is – okay, so myself and Pat, we're obviously – our personalities are very different as humans.
Sure.
So for me, it's very fun to sit there and watch Pat just perform wherever he – like, just how he is, his whole essence, how he interacts with people. It's very fun because I know that's not me. And I don't – it's not real – I can't see myself ever being like that. And that's what makes it fun for me. I think that's what makes it work, especially Connor. I can never put myself in your shoes, Connor.
Yeah, thanks, AJ. I appreciate that. Kind of. I don't know. You're just smacking the face.
I'm joking. That was a joke.
I know, pal. All right, relax, okay? Pipe down over there.
I don't
want
to get any text from you or your family.
Oh, yeah, for sure, dude. Yeah, for sure, absolutely. But also, with the Patriots, the whole thing is like, oh, they don't have fun up there. It sucks up there. Like, wouldn't you want more of this? Like, you would want players to be enjoying their time, especially publicly, and maybe Zolak's trying to spin something because he wants Mac Jones to start, but someone else sent something to the group earlier, maybe it was Tony, about how Cam has actually done an interview talking about how he's impressed by Mac Jones's knowledge of rap music. So if that's what Zolak's trying to spin, don't worry, pal. Mac and Cheese Jones is still listening to rap music too. So you can't really be spinning that narrative if that's what you're looking for in the end here.
Well, all we need that to happen now is, so Mac Jones seems like the ultimate teammate. Now, next open practice they have, I hope they have another one. Mac needs to dance in between every single throw he has. They need to play. He needs to request some good rap he likes, and then he needs to be dancing harder than Cam in between each rap.
Even taking that another step, why not have Mac Jones jump on a beat with Cole Beasley? Why not have him just go all in? You know what? Oh, you don't like people listening to rap music? Here's my first rap single called The Mac Attack, and it's just him talking about slicing defenses. I think that would definitely get the people buzzing if he did something like that.
When is Cole Beasley? When is he dropping that? Is that coming out soon?
I don't know. He's already back in the building, I believe. So if he had
probably before fucking Donda.
Yeah.
What do you mean? He had another successful Kanye, right?
He ruined Soldier Field.
Yeah. He destroyed the grass.
Not going to be able to.
Good.
Yeah, they won't be able to play there.
Guys, no respect for
that grass
Bears.
has always been terrible.
Oh, come on!
Wait, I know he had a bunch of. Did he burn? He fake burn his house down. What happened?
Your guy Marilyn Manson was there with him. AJ.
Yeah, your guy Marilyn Manson was there, AJ. Your guy.
Maryland has gotten some trouble recently.
A lot of trouble.
A lot of trouble.
You don't say.
No, he didn't burn his house down. He burnt himself down.
Oh, how is he?
Oh, he's doing good. A couple of third-degree burns.
I believe I saw a lot of people on the internet. He was like a phoenix rising from the ashes. Yeah. He burnt Kanye, and now Yeezy has been reborn.
I mean, Ice Cube said it. He is living art. This is like kind of what he's going for. No one's ever done it before.
Are we looking at a Garth Brooks, Chris Gaines situation here?
Yes, very similar.
Certainly appears as if.
He does want to change his name.
Really?
What'd you say?
He does want to change his name. He doesn't want to be called Kanye anymore. Just, what was it?
Yay.
Just
Mr. West.
Kevin?
No, just
Just
That's it?
Why?
Is this like an artist formerly known as Prince? Is this a money thing? What are we doing?
Maybe, actually.
It all seems to be a money thing. I just don't understand why he hasn't just released the music so people can actually enjoy it.
Well, he has made $12 million.
He knows the album.
He sold
stinks,
$12 million in tickets and merch for these things.
Yeah, but $12 million for a guy, he's a billionaire, right? So
I don't know.
$12 million is a shit ton of money. Don't get me wrong, but we're talking about Kanye West.
Isn't he?
Huh?
He's gone through a pretty big divorce, isn't he?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, quite, yeah.
But is he paying her or is she paying him?
I'm going to guess he's
I
paying
think
her.
it's split down the
I
middle.
think it's pretty amicable, and it's just, hey, we're just going to go away.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
Because she was at the she was at the Atlanta Donda listening party, so who knows if how shaky it is. I didn't think it was.
I mean, I think Ice Cube said it best when he was on this show. He's like, "Hey, Kanye is going to be Kanye. You gotta let him do his thing. Like, just let him be. That's what he is." And whether you like it or not, I feel like you should at least respect a dude jumping out there and taking a chance. Like I wonder if I'm sure he does like have moments where he worries that this may not work, but man, he powers right through all of that. Was it almost sold out there?
It looks sold out, yes.
Damn. Just for a listening party. That's the thing. Like
There's no singing.
What's that?
There's no, he's not singing. Yeah. They're just listening to music
together. That's what
together.
I'm saying. Like how many musical acts can sell out an actual stadium to when they are playing and performing? Not many. Like there are, but there's not a ton of them. Kanye can play his album that hasn't come out yet, and people still come listen to it.
Well, it's because they know it's never fucking coming out. So if they don't go to that, they're never gonna hear it.
Yeah.
Todd, you may be onto something. That may be it. This is like an album where if you weren't there, you don't know what the greatness is.
At this point, in my mind, I'm just never going to hear it, and it's just going to be, everyone else gets to hear it, and if it never comes out, it never comes out, because I'm sick of it, AJ. I'm trying to listen to the goddamn music, and he won't put it on Spotify, goddammit.
Do you listen to music, AJ?
Do I listen to what?
Music.
Yeah, I listen to music.
When you drive,
we were debating this morning, like, when you're driving, is it just complete silence, or do you actually listen to stuff?
I actually listen to stuff all the time, but I don't listen to music. I listen to different podcasts, books on audio books, I guess now, not book on tape.
What are you listening to right now?
I dial up different podcasts I like and try to find them, and I listen to them.
Goosebumps and Berenstain Bears, is that the kind of stuff? Those are the books you listen to.
I'm halfway through Berenstain Bears. Like just like when I was in 5th grade, if I read one book a week, I got a personal pan pizza on Friday. So awesome. I'm on that train again. Yeah.
Hey, how was the scrimmage yesterday?
Good. We scrimmaged a couple teams. Nice. It was fun. Man, I saw General Bob in a nice cutoff and double gloves coaching up his
double gloves? You're lying. He was not in double gloves.
He was Jay Feely out there?
He had 2 gloves, but he had one blue, one red glove.
Bobby.
And my wife eventually, she's like, Bob, what is with the 2 gloves? And he's like, blue is right, red is left. I gotta let the kids know. And Bob was putting his hands up. I don't know what he was trying to signal to the defense. Something.
How's your team looking? Are they flying around on offense and defense? Are they leading with their helmets? I sure hope you are.
We are not leading with our helmets. Nope. The Clemson Tigers, 3rd and 4th grade team is not. Our defense is definitely ahead of the offense right now. Okay. Defense has been swarming to the ball, running, reacting, trusting their instincts. Offense, it's a work in progress. We got to figure out not always a clean quarterback-center exchange, and first game's coming on Sunday. We'll see how it goes.
Well, it's not like you guys can throw the ball, right? Like at this point, you're just running a triple option.
That's a problem. 3rd and 4th grade, so we play some teams that are all like 4th graders and have a whole year. This is, our guys have been playing tackle football for 2 weeks. So, yeah, we had dudes running naked boots on us yesterday, misdirection. Jesus. We cannot figure this one out.
Well, maybe dumb down the offense then. You guys don't need to go 5 wide going out of shotgun.
Run the veer, AJ. Run the veer.
6 plays. Work like Novocaine. Just give them time.
We have about 3 plays, Todd. So we're trying to perfect those 3 plays right now and do the best that we can. But, we got Ross Tucker coming up, so we're going to head to our first break here. But shortly after 12:30, Ross Tucker will come on. He'll talk to the boys. The boys may pepper up a little bit, ask him about what happened last week. We'll talk about the preseason. I know he has a lot of thoughts on that. He's all over the whole media landscape, does a billion different shows. But stick around. We will be back. This is Sirius XM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio, McAfee Show. I'm AJ Hawk, sitting in.
All the hard work throughout my entire life, whether it was driving me to practice, to go to work, the coaches that invested hours in me, everything I have done to get to this point. I got a whole town, a community, a family, a tribe of people watching me potentially live out my dreams that we all thought was going to happen. And when I get to Rock, I get a chance to carry 8 motherfuckers that are playing for a team that is in the city that I went to college in. I carry 8 people, have the biggest moment in my football career, maybe make a team, if not with the Colts, somewhere else. Hey, that guy's got juice, let's do it. Change the entire direction in the course of my family's life. I can't be excited, though.
No.
Don't even think
Don't
about it.
you fucking dare.
Are you kidding me? All that just happened, and everything I just said there and more is potentially happening in that one play? Don't even fucking think it. Get your fucking ass back in the huddle. You know Barry Sanders? Hey, Barry Sanders, he'd score a touchdown, and he would just hand it to the ref, and then he was gone. Why don't I? Well, Barry Sanders also won the Heisman, right?
Yeah.
It was also like the all-time leading scorer in this whole thing. Barry Sanders was unbelievable, worked his ass off. Let's not get crazy. And Barry Sanders had the ability to act like he had been there before, because Barry Sanders, by the way, had fucking been there before. And maybe Barry Sanders, the way he goes about business isn't how everybody goes about business. Maybe there's a lot of different stories, a lot of different situations, a lot of different life events that lead to somebody acting differently than somebody that just acted, almost robotic while being one of the most exciting and electric players in the history. Got nothing but love for Barry Sanders. Let's not get crazy. But there's a lot of people tweeting, act like you've been there before. It's like, you think this motherfucker's been there before?
He hasn't.
This dude just carried 8 people and maybe changed the entire life. He can't be excited. Aren't we a game of emotion? Aren't we a game of excitement? Why is this a fucking penalty? Hey, Goodell! Hey, eating your M&Ms, sitting on the chair, being cool. You became my commissioner. You weren't my commissioner when, hey, you dance, you're fucking out. Your socks slide, you're fucking out. We don't want anything. We want robots, no emotion. Everybody hated you then, Raj. All right, everybody hated you. And nobody understood why you're trying to take the fun out of the game. You're doing it because you wanted to be able to just pluck and play. You didn't want to have players be brand names because then you could replace them easily. Okay, I understand the business side of it, but we all agreed, the tribe has spoken, that the game's better when people are excited. Some things are too much. All right, some things are way too much. There were some dances that happened that looked a little bit more like basketball, where we're all like, there's no way that can happen with a full line dance. We get it, there was some. But it added to the game. The excitement added to everything. Now taking away this and making it a point of emphasis. And I'm not saying that there should be if something egregious happens, they should penalize them. Yes, please. It's not for the good of our game, not for the good of the league, not good for fans, not good for anybody. I understand that's going to happen, but a point of emphasis means, hey, we're cracking down on this because we don't want it to happen anymore. And why are we targeting that as opposed to targeting something else I'll never understand? My commissioner, Roger Goodell, is going to get to the bottom of this if Sam Acho doesn't do it first.
Yeah.
Hey, as we get back into society, let's remember, people will punch you in the fucking mouth.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
On an error is its second.
Hello, welcome back. This is the Pat McAfee Show. I'm AJ Hawk sitting in for Pat today. Channel 82, Sirius XM, Mad Dog Sports Radio. Boys, I think our next guest is already here. He's already waiting for us, so we know what's going on this week. We have a little bit of time before the regular season starts. Tonight we have some preseason games. This guy is going to be working the Eagles at the Jets tonight for the preseason. Put your hands together. Ross Tucker, welcome to the show.
AJ, what's up, man? Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. This is, by the way, the most dressed up I've ever been for a hit like this. I literally am going to hop in the car to drive to MetLife as soon as we're done talking. So I normally wouldn't have like a button-down shirt on, I promise.
Hey, you look good, Ross. You look professional, and I know I'm worried for you because I see how light that shirt is. It's a dress shirt. You will be completely pitted out and sweat through that shirt before warm-ups even start, won't you?
Dude, this is the third preseason game, obviously. It has been at least 90 at kickoff for all three. And I know most of those guys are from the Northeast, so they know how humid. Although I don't know if we call Pittsburgh the Northeast. That's a whole different discussion we can have.
Mid-Atlantic.
But they're from Pennsylvania like me. And, dude, here's the key, okay? First, this is the pocket, okay? This is the pocket sweat towel. This actually,
a baby wipe,
fits in my pocket right there. I cut up my daughter's like hand towel. It's koala bears. So that goes in my pocket because I got to be in the tunnel 3 hours before the game interviewing Coach Sirianni. And then during the game, I just go full throttle the big white. You got to go big white. But they don't know, you know how it is, AJ. They don't always tell you when you're about to be on camera. So I'll be like drenched because I get into it. I get excited, whatever. Like I get pumped up. So I got to do a quick like that so I don't look like a total hog. And by the way, I'm 75 pounds less than I was when I was playing. I don't know how we did it, dude. Like I don't know how we were out there in training camp, 90 degrees, weighing 320 like that.
Well, yeah. I think that all the time, wearing the pads and everything. But I have to go back. So you were interviewing Nick Sirianni before the game tonight in the tunnel. How long do you get to speak to him? Have you got to interview this guy before? And what are your thoughts on him, I guess?
Yeah, so part of my job is I interview him before every preseason game, and then they air it on the pregame show. And, he's 40, so I love him so far. First of all, I love everything about him, but it makes me feel a little bit bad, AJ, because he's 40. Both of his coordinators are like 38, and his special teams coordinator is 29. So this is the first time in my life where I'm like, man, like, where did I go wrong? These guys are all head coaches and coordinators, and I'm interviewing them. But no, he's been really cool so far. Like, we think the same. We have a lot of the same interests. Like, yesterday in the production meeting, he was talking about Rocky IV and how awesome Rocky IV was. I was like, I was right there with him. So, and even, this is more important than what I think of him. The players, in the production meetings, the players bring him up all the time. The players mention the things he tells them all the time. He has like a chart every day at the start of the meetings where he shows everybody what they did the day before. Like they give you you get graded for a game, AJ. They grade you in practice, plus or minus. And my understanding is every morning you see how every guy graded in practice the day before. So it's total transparency.
Wow, I hear aren't they big with their like sports science people? And I've heard Michael Lombardi talk about this. Does Sirianni defer to a lot of the sports science people for like length of practice, how intense it is, and things like that?
Yeah, so I will say this because I played for 5 teams and just been around a bunch of teams. They invest so many resources in the football team. I mean, Anthony Harris, who came over in free agency from the Vikings, he was saying to us last week, he's like, he can't believe how many people there are that are nutrition consultants, people that stretch you before practice, people that hand you your smoothie. I mean, they spare no expense to make sure they're putting these guys in the right spot. And he talked about the doctors, the trainers. That's how they determine how long the practices are. But the flip side of that is, I mean, they had 2 hard practices last week against the Patriots before that game. They had 2 hard practices this week against the Jets. So they're still getting in some good work. But they were missing, I want to say, maybe 6 or 7 starters for the opener last year. And I'm pretty sure they wanted to make sure that didn't happen again.
Wow. I have a question. I know Connor has something after this, but I wanted to ask you quickly. I know you've mentioned there may be, like, we may look around some of these preseason games, and are we going to see some 3s going against 1s? I know it's a unique situation with 3 preseason games. Like, I know Josh Allen's playing in the 3rd game. He hasn't played in the first 2. What kind of matchups are we going to see?
I don't know that we've ever seen this before, man. And I've been reading the reports from some other team. I mean, Joe Burrow's playing for the first time. I think Joe Judge said Daniel Jones and the Giants starters are going to play the whole first half. Meanwhile, there's other reports that teams aren't going to play anybody. I mean, even today I saw Mike Garafolo said he doesn't expect the Eagles to play their starters, and somebody else said the Jets are going to play their starters for the first half. Now, I don't know. Things change. We'll see what happens. But, usually there used to be a rhythm to preseason, as you know. 3rd preseason was dress rehearsal. 4th preseason game, nobody played. It's just the young guys, the guys at the bottom of the roster. Some teams are treating this weekend like it's the 3rd preseason game dress rehearsal. Some are treating it like the fourth preseason game nobody plays. So we might have times this weekend where it's starters going against third string. So something to keep an eye on. A, it'll be interesting to watch, and B, could be some opportunities for people out there.
Connor, what do you have?
Yeah, Ross, we've heard a lot about Hurts. Is Hurts, what's the difference between him this year and last year as far as just kind of taking command of the team? And also, fantasy football, should I be drafting Devontae Smith within the first 5 rounds this year?
Is this Boston Connor, the hot tub guy?
Yeah, absolutely. Just a regular bathtub. Just a regular bathtub. I wish I had a hot tub.
Oh, right. By the way, before I forget, I've been following Pat's tweets. I hope he's doing okay. It's scary that you can feel that bad, even though he's fully vaxxed. As a guy that's had a podcast network for like 8 years or whatever, what you guys have created, Connor, and all of you guys, AJ now, is unbelievably impressed by what Pat and all you guys have done. Hope people appreciate and realize what you guys have built from scratch, because it's amazing. I almost totally forgot your question, but I just remembered Jalen Hurts. Now, here's the thing. I was talking with a fantasy expert this week. Right now, the Eagles are considered to, their win total, whatever, 6.5 games. So right now you think, okay, they might be trailing in a bunch of games. They got a top 5 O-line. He's going to run the ball a lot. I think from a fantasy perspective, I don't know about Devontae Smith. I think Devontae Smith will get the most targets of the receivers, but they still have 2 stud tight ends in Goddard and Hurts right now. But I know people that are out there, like fantasy dudes, fantasy experts, that think if Hurts starts all 17 games, he's a top 5 fantasy quarterback. So maybe you should draft Hurts, Connor, instead of Devontae.
Wow.
Hey, Ross, we have another Sirianni fan in studio. Ty Schmidt, I know you had something for Ross. What's on your mind?
Yeah, Ross, speaking of Sirianni, really a lot of what we see from the Eagles are kind of like his press conference clips and tidbits like that, where sometimes what the message that he's trying to get across doesn't necessarily get across completely. But you said that they've looked good and everything. What do you think a realistic expectation or ceiling is for the Eagles this year?
So, I'm from Philly, so I get text messages from my buddies after, a couple of Sirianni's press conferences. I'll just tell you, I've talked to him 5 times now. Guy's been awesome. He's been awesome. And all that, energy, enthusiasm, he really is like that. He loves football. You saw a video of Phillip Rivers last night going crazy about high school football. That is Sirianni. Sirianni is like that. I think the Eagles are going to be way better than what other people think. Here's the 2 reasons, right? If the O-line stays healthy, they're top 5 all day. If the D-line stays healthy, they're top 10, maybe even top 5. And then remember this. I know he's there in Indy with you guys now. I got a good relationship with him. I really like him as a person, Carson Wentz. But, guys, he led the NFL in sacks and picks last year and didn't play the last 4 games. He didn't play 25% of the season. So what I tell people is if Hurts just throws 5 less picks and takes 5 less sacks, you guys tell me, what is that, 2 more wins, 3 more wins? So certainly for those of you that like to make things interesting, I certainly like the Eagles over their season win total. I think they're 8, 9, 10 win team.
Hey, speaking of a guy that needs to limit interceptions, Jameis Winston was named the starter down in New Orleans. Were you surprised by that? And what do you think Taysom Hill is going to do? Is he willing to be that slash role? I know he wanted to play quarterback.
No, I wasn't surprised. I think, now that they've lost some weapons, it's a different team. I think Peyton probably always wanted to be able to have Taysom in that role, in the Swiss Army knife role, offensive weapon role, whatever you want to call it. So I kind of always felt like unless Jameis stunk up the joint in training camp and preseason, he was going to be the guy. So I'm not surprised. I think it's the right move. He looked awesome the other night. I don't want to overstate one preseason game, but those throws to Callaway. By the way, who is Callaway?
He's a guy now.
And he's catching touchdown passes all over the place. Undrafted free agent last year. But I thought Jameis looked awesome. The weird thing I thought, though, AJ, was Taysom Hill lost some weight. If you look at him, he trained to be a quarterback this year. he looks to me like at least 10 pounds lighter, maybe 15 pounds lighter. So I don't know what he's going to have to do training-wise to try to get back to be able to be like the up back on punt team and all those other roles they had from the power runner.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to – let's see what I guess how much they use him. But I wanted to pivot to Dallas right now. I know Dak, I guess they say he's moving forward without restrictions on his shoulder, lat, ankle, everything that's going on. What do you expect from the Cowboys and Mike McCarthy this year? And obviously Dan Quinn steps in as the new D coordinator.
Well, first of all, if you can get Micah Parsons for Defensive Rookie of the Year, go ahead and do that. I live in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania now. It's where my wife's from, and I saw that guy play in his third high school game ever. And I texted my buddy at Penn State, who's in the he's the GM over at Penn State, and I was like, there's a ninth grader for Central Dauphin High School that might be the best defensive player I've ever. They offered him the next week. Micah got offered after 3 games of high school football in ninth grade. I think he's going to tear it up this year in Dan Quinn's defense. And frankly, AJ, they need him to. I mean, that defense struggled last year. They need Micah to make a bunch of plays. Offensively, I just never like going into the season with these injury issues hanging over our head with like Amari Cooper still kind of out there, Dak still kind of out there. I mean, maybe it ends up being fine. And, hopefully for our entertainment, since the Cowboys are on national TV all the time, I hope it is. But, I never like when there's things that are lingering out there. Even like Darrisaw for the Vikings or Tevin Jenkins for the Bears. These guys, they'll be okay. They'll be okay. They always say these guys are okay until they're not okay.
Todd, you got something else?
Yeah, Ross, I think it was this morning Jadeveon Clowney said that guards aren't real athletes and he likes lining up inside because he can kind of just have his way with them. I believe you played guard. Do you take any offense to that? And are guys going to be chomping at the bit to knock Clowney's teeth out this year?
So let's just think about that for a second, right? Why do guys say things like that? Like, in all sincerity, like, even when I played against, let's say I was playing against the Browns this year, I would try to be aggressive. I would try to be physical, whatever. But now, like during that week of practice, I'd be like, yo, you know what we need to do with Clowney? You know what we need to do there? Like, why would you put a bullseye on your back? If I'm freed up in pass protection and somebody else has him locked up, I would put my helmet in his ribs as hard as I could and hope to hear something crunch. Like, why guys say stuff like that is beyond me. And, he's got a point that usually offensive tackles have better feet and slide better in pass protection. But they're also more used to going against body types like Clowney. It's the same reason why when they put a 300-pound D end out at offensive, or D tackle out at defensive end, the offensive tackles struggle sometimes because they're not used to going against that kind of power. Well, when you put Clowney inside, the guards aren't always used to going against that kind of wiggle. That said, I mean, they're going to jump him. And by the way, when you go inside against the guards, a lot of times they have help from the center. And they know when they have help. But the moral of the story here is don't say things about guys that are going to try to kill you. Like, it doesn't help.
I guess Clowney probably thinks, well, not if I kill him first, I'll be in the clear.
Speaking of that, AJ, was it Connor? Who was it that was talking trash on me last week about saying guy and dude?
Yeah, hand up. Yes. Hand up. That was me, Ross. Before I ever talked to you, I'm a big fan now. Hand up. That was me.
What were you saying, Connor? I see, Ross. I didn't get to see the game that you called. Connor, what were you saying?
I was more saying the follow up to you explaining what a guy dude was. It was a big miss on the joke from your cohort, whoever the other guy is who you commentate with.
No, you know what's so funny? I didn't even see what you said, Connor. I just got like 3 tweets from people like, "Hey, they're talking trash on you on Pat. Oh, they're dogging you." I was like, Pat, AJ. They're like, no, the other guys.
No. It wasn't you. We were kind of dogging your partner though. Hands up. That was on me.
Yeah, you know what's funny though, Connor? 2 things. Number 1, okay, I got a text message from somebody. I will not say who it is. Might have been my mom saying, "Why do you keep calling these players a guy or a dude?" So That's why I said, you know what I mean, right? Because AJ knows this. Pat knows this. When you talk to like college football coaches, that's how they describe studs for their team. They'll be like, oh, he's a guy now. I mean, he's a guy. Or like, we think he's a dude. They either say guy, dude, or the one that my favorite, which I should, war daddy. Gotta be like a D-line, but they'll be like, we think he's a war daddy. We think he's a legit war daddy. That's the other one they use.
Yeah, it is. Ross, last thing here before we let you get on the road to start sweating in that tunnel at the Jets game. It should be fun. Are there any teams out there that you think people aren't given a chance to that might surprise some people? Like, let's say the Lions, Dan Campbell. I don't know, maybe Houston wins more games than you may think. Is there anyone out there you think we should kind of have on our radar?
So one of them, you guys will say I'm biased, but one of them is Philadelphia. The other two that jump out to me, Chargers and Falcons, right? The Chargers, everybody says this every year. I know that. Anthony Lynn, unbelievably nice human being. Unbelievably terrible in-game head coach. He had to have cost them 3 or 4 games.
How did he cost them? Like, can you give an example, Ross?
Oh, my gosh, dude. Like, you look at the clock management in some of those situations, it was abysmal. Decisions whether to kick or go. I mean, he single-handedly made the Red Zone channel in the afternoon entertaining to see what he was going to do next. And I'll give the other one. How about the Falcons? Nobody's talking about the Falcons. Do you remember the Falcons just watching the onside kick go between just spin around against the Cowboys? Mm-hmm. They blew that game. They let Nick Foles come off the bench and throw 7 touchdown passes, I think, in the fourth quarter of one game. And then how about the game where Gurley didn't just go down and take a knee? He goes and scores a touchdown, and then the Lions, Stafford throws a bomb. Like, the Falcons lost 3 or 4 games that there's no way they should have lost. That doesn't happen every year. Like, they're not going to lose 4 games that you guys and Pat are all talking about on Monday. Like, can you believe they choke? Can you believe that's not going to happen. So even if that only happens once, that's 2 or 3 more wins for the Falcons.
Well, Ross, we will let you head on your way to the stadium. Good luck. Hopefully they get you on camera, get a working shot of you super sweaty. You'll be the next, taking line for Joe Thomas. Maybe you can out-sweat Joe tonight. You think you can make that happen?
How does Joe not know you have to wear an undershirt? How does he not know that?
I mean, Joe is...
You have to wear an undershirt. Now, you can do a sweat towel for your face, but you got to wear a cotton undershirt to soak. I mean, Joe was all pitted out. I at least know about now the undershirt at the end of the game. I just throw it away. It's totally drenched. But you need the undershirt. Come on, Joe.
Yes, come on, Joe. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Ross Tucker. Appreciate it, man. What's up, boys? Were you surprised to hear him talk about Anthony Lynn like that?
No.
Not at all.
This show, Pat has mentioned many times about the Chargers end-of-game situations last year. When Lombardi's on, he just dogs Anthony Lynn every single time. And then in the first preseason game this year, Anthony Lynn and MCDC basically did the same exact thing. So, no, not surprised to hear that one. I was surprised, though. I saw your eyes light up when Ross mentioned Sirianni, and then you didn't go there.
Yeah.
What do you mean I didn't go there?
Well,
I thought you were going to let him know that we actually have Coach Sirianni in studio on a daily basis.
I was going to. I was going to let Ty try to take it if he wanted to, but I feel like I put Ty on the spot a lot with different impressions. I don't want him to be, I want him to make sure he is locked and loaded if I do come to him.
No. I mean, it would have been fine, but yeah, I wrote it down. You want to make sure that you have references ready to go immediately in those situations. So, a couple minutes on Rocky IV, I love it. So that is huge. Moving forward, that is huge.
I knew when Ross told us about the Rocky IV, I was like, oh, that is a good piece of information that will be carried along here in this office for a long time, I believe.
It will.
You really think the Eagles are going to be all right, though?
I don't know. I mean, everything coming out about Hurts, it really was like Lombardi said it. If anyone gets hurt, their twos are just not really up to snuff. Yeah, they kind of stink.
Hasn't that kind of been their thing the last several years, though, is they are incredibly injury-prone and they can't stay healthy?
Yeah, they are. I guess that's probably a big thing that Sirianni's doing, working with the sports science. Like Ross said, it sounds like they have 5,000 people on staff that getting players everything they could possibly need to give them a chance, I guess, to stay on the field. But I mean, staying healthy, obviously, yeah, you can work out through it and do everything that you should do to try to prevent injury, but sometimes it's just luck. It's bad luck or good luck, whether your team is healthy or not. It also depends where those injuries hit. Like if all of a sudden you have 2 or 3 O-linemen go down, like that's tough to recover from. If your quarterback goes down, forget it. Like that's no fun. So, yeah, it's going to need some luck. And the Eagles will need Jalen Hurts to play out of his mind, I think, especially early on, maybe build some confidence and get some people taking him seriously if they want to make some noise, I guess. But I don't think their division's too stacked. So they're I don't know what the rest of their record looks like, but at least in the division, like I don't think they have huge juggernauts they're going to be facing.
Yeah, but do you think, I mean, like the Cowboys, and granted that could just be because of Hard Knocks and everything, but you assume the Cowboys will be much better this year. The Washington football team is supposed to be good this year. And even the Giants, I guess we don't really know. The only thing we've heard about them from camp is all the shit with Joe Judge, but healthy Saquon, doesn't it seem like the Eagles are still in the basement of that division?
Oh, it definitely does feel that way, but that's the thing. Like if Jalen Hurts can play out of his mind and do stuff that we watched him do in college, then yeah, he will give them a chance. But are we for sure that Saquon Barkley is going to be in the lineup week 1?
I don't think
he's not playing the last preseason game, and they said they're not going to make an announcement on if he's available week 1 or not.
The internet was pumped this week because there was videos of him doing live drills and stuff like that. He was wearing a red jersey, but I don't think there has not been word if he's going to be there week 1.
Yeah, they took him off the PUP list, so that's got to be a good sign. But also Judge part of the New England tree, so he probably won't announce it until game day.
I would say this is a pretty pivotal year for quarterback Daniel Jones, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's make or break here. Prove to us that you are our franchise guy or not. And you think they'll move on if he doesn't come out there and light it up this year?
Yes.
I don't know, because he still has one more year left on his rookie deal, I think. So.
Well, they won't. I don't think they'll I doubt they would cut him or trade him, but I would imagine they would bring in some type of top flight competition and win a draft pick, most likely.
Yeah, they're not going to pick up that 5th-year option if he doesn't have a good year this year. The guy, he just he turns it over. He fumbles it. He throws it. He does not protect the ball at all. me and Connor say he is the greatest athlete at the quarterback position in the league, but he just can't protect the ball.
Yeah, and he ran the fastest out of any quarterback, including Lamar Jackson last year. But also, they went out and they got Golladay. Sterling Shepard's healthy. He's throwing punches against the Browns. They got Darius Slayton. They got Ingram. With Saquon, if the offense doesn't perform, you got to assume it's on him or the O-line, because the O-line has also kind of been a problem for them in the past.
And from what I hear people talking about that have been around their camp, people say their defense looks like they could be really good this year.
They were great last year. They were an incredible under team because their defense was good and their offense fucking stunk. So that's something.
So they just need their offense to improve by 15, 20%, right? And they'll be okay.
Oh yeah, 15, 20% shit. If you only get 8 wins in the NFC East, that might get the job done. Because last year they were in it till the end. They finished 6-10. They were right there. The football team went 7-9. It wasn't like they were doing anything special. But do you think any of the teams in the NFC East are going to be like an 11, 12-win team, or do you think 8 or 9 wins might get it done again?
If Dak can stay healthy and not have lingering issues with that shoulder and lat and ankle, I think that the Cowboys could do that. But the rest of the division, I don't think we know who they are. Let's see how Daniel Jones plays. Let's see what the Eagles look like with Jalen Hurts. I don't know what's going to happen there. I think there's so much up in the air. 17 games, long season.
Yeah.
Who knows? Joe Judge, for him, luckily, it seems like they are going to make sure he's going to have a chance to build his culture and build the team he wants. They're not going to move on from him quickly and make any rash decisions, it seems like.
If he wants the offense to be good and move forward this year, bring back McAdoofus and let him.
He's in Dallas.
Yeah, I know. Find a way to bring him back.
Go back to the old haircut McAdoo. We don't need slick back McAdoo. We need old school McAdoo.
We need the McAdoofus.
We need boxy suit McAdoo from his opening presser, right?
Yes.
100%.
All right, hey guys, we're wrapping this first hour up. We'll be back on the other side. A lot of great stuff. We'll get out to the 5 Hour Energy phone lines. Stay with us here, Sirius XM 82.
I think I've realized this year with the conversations, you do seem to be a rather normal human, which is very interesting, right? I assume for a lot of people to hear. AJ said, no, you are not a normal human. But because all the stories about you before this year, to be honest, a lot of people, the way they believed is you were the smug king almost is what the thing about it. And then getting a chance to chat with you, it's like, well, that's not the case at all. How is that like something you have to focus on? I assume it gets hard whenever you're hanging out with, Scott Stapp is hanging Aaron Rodgers jerseys up in his goddamn office. That has to be pretty weird.
Well, look, I think that's an interesting thing to talk about. I think a lot of times, people have said things about me, and it's been the same few people, and that's been kind of the prevailing story or thing that's reflected on. I think for me, I talk a lot about the work I did on myself. It was nice, and it wasn't intentional. Like, I didn't sign the show to have, and you guys know, we've talked about this off air, but there wasn't, some agenda doing this. It was fucking talk to Pat and AJ every week? Yeah. Sounds pretty awesome.
It has been, by the way.
It sounds amazing. But what it's allowed me to do is, I think, silence all the douchebags out there who were, talking for me and making themselves more relevant by using my name or, running with stories that were not really based in any type of fact. And look, I've grown as a person. I've said things and done things that I wish I'd handled a little better. But this was a great, natural, authentic, whatever, whether it was 15 minutes at the stadium or 45 minutes, to just bullshit and have a conversation. If you're a friend of mine, if you know me, I think this is about as normal as interaction you're going to see from me. It's not a lot of BS. You're not going to hear cliches and garbage. I'm going to, shoot from the hip mostly. Tell you as much as I feel comfortable telling. I feel like I've been as honest as I could be. I've told you guys a lot of fun stuff. It's fun for me because then I don't have to maybe rehash it on a Wednesday, or people get to see a different side of you that maybe they didn't even know was there or didn't think was there. And it's been fun for me. I really have. I've appreciated every single week we've done these. And like I said, the best part is there was no agenda. There was no plan. I mean, even us, we didn't know we were going to go 10 minutes or 15 minutes or an hour. We just started fucking talking, right? And then this came out, and it's been a lot of fun.
What's the most beer you did in one night you think of one of those shows?
Well, I never forget when we went to Japan one time. Dudley, Stacy Keebler. I mean, there were so many people out there. I think we went through 103 or 108. Now, between just for myself, I'd always make sure to have about a 12 or 18 pack there. And, here's the thing when some people say, oh, shit, man, you got too much of that beer on you. You don't even know how to drink beer. It's like, dude, fuck you. You don't know what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to entertain 20,000 people in an arena. If I just go out there and sip it real properly, how fucking exciting is that? So when you're out there on an empty belly and you're shotgunning beers and all that shit's going in, the half that was going in was for me. The half that was going on was for them.
Nice.
But I'm telling you, Pat, when you shotgun a bunch of beers like that and you're drinking about half of each beer, you got a pretty damn good buzz when you come out. And that's a sacrifice I was willing to make every single night.
I would assume you were pretty fucked up, yeah. When did you start self-cheersing? When did you start self-cheersing? Was that something you did in college? You're like, hey, Steve, good for me, man. When did that start?
No, you know what? I got to give credit to Sandman for starting that, but he was bashing him off his head, and I don't remember, and it wasn't because Sandman was doing it, so I don't want to say I copied him, but he was the first. So, and then my style was, because people always get us confused. They'll say, yeah, man, you used to bang them on your head. No, motherfucker, I was the guy that clacked them together. It was just something we came up with. I don't know how the beers got introduced to the ring, but it became a thing, and we ran with it.
I'm Roman, a men's health brand that can dance very well and make you the best you possible. Are you suffering from male pattern baldness? We got something for that. Herpes. See ya! Premature ejaculation? No more coming too quick. Allergies as well. And that's not all. We have clinically tested supplements for everything, including erectile dysfunction. Come on! Bye-bye! GetRoman.com/Pat. Be the best you possible.
Thank you. I'll tell you what, it was pretty cool. Roger Goodell gave me a big hug beforehand, too, so that's good, sir. Thank you so much. Shane, you drinking? Yeah. Cheers to you, man. That was a good one. That was good. Oh, that was I feel like it went pretty good. Oh, look at the phone.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show. I am AJ Hawk sitting in today for Pat. He's still battling COVID. Back home. Thanks to Ross Tucker for coming on.
Thank you, Ross.
Thank you, Ross.
I'm always early on.
Yeah, that one was piss poor.
It's all right. The one you had during the 2 o'clock hour yesterday was damn near perfect. You'll get it again. Don't worry, War Daddy Hawk.
Thank you, Connor. War Daddy, thank you. I appreciate that, Connor. Now, Ross brought up something in our interview, and don't worry, we'll get to the callers and the 5-hour energy phone line. Official news or official summer flavors, not new. McAfee or code McAfee at checkout, get you 10% off 5hourenergy.com.
Good point.
But Ross brought something up to Connor, and this is something that actually kind of threw me off. So the show goes on the air right at 12 Eastern. Yep. About 11:50, I came across Connor Campbell doing his hashtag bath talk.
Yeah.
And I mean, I almost wasn't going to come do the show. It threw me off. I'm trying to figure out what you're doing. It was good. I like it. Like I said before, I appreciate you people taking chances and putting themselves out there. Is this going to be like a running thing? Are you going to try to sell this to Spotify or something?
I mean, no, I will never sell anything to Spotify, but this was the 3rd episode. Thanks for following the product, pal. You're acting like this is the first time we've done this. Okay. I'm just trying to.
This one felt longer. This felt longer than others.
This was the longest one. You got a good sense of, your feel is right on par, War Daddy Hawk. But no, this was basically, just a breakdown of everything week to week. You got to update on what's going on. It's a very topical thing. Mac Jones and Cam almost is like the last QB competition aside from a few. Also, we're talking about the football team. The football team apparently hasn't decided on Fitzmagic or Heineke yet, so that's still up in the air too.
That's a legit. Do you think it's real? Do you think that's a real thing, or are they just saying that?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like Heineke has played pretty damn well. I'm not going to say I've watched every snap of the football team's preseason or followed along with their joint practices or anything, but after what he did against the Bucs, I mean, he's an athlete. He adds another dimension. I always, no matter what, will say start Fitzmagic until the wheels fall off of that guy.
Yes,
because what he can do is untouchable. But you never know. They might roll with Heineke. I doubt it.
I mean, they're gonna whatever happens. Like whoever is starting at quarterback for Washington, like that dude is key to play well because it feels like they have a lot of pieces around that quarterback position to make shirtless Pat McAfee outdoors. What's happening, man? How you feeling? You look good.
Mr. Hawk, how are you? You might hear me. I'm a little congested today. That's the big word of the day, congested. Woke up in a pool of sweat. Hold on, it might be my Wi-Fi. Let me call you back. Hold on.
Okay. Jay, did you steal all of the internet again over there?
I'm not there anymore, so you can't blame me anymore.
Oh!
Shit. Where'd you go, Jay?
I got a new house.
Oh, good for you, man. Congrats on your upcoming wedding, too. Is that next week?
Yes, next Friday.
Yeah! Baby Jay! Jay, you think you'll cry up there at the altar?
No, probably not. But maybe.
You never know. I don't think you will either.
You never know.
We'll see.
What's up, Pat? How you doing? Well, Pat was with us for a half a second, but he's outdoors, and he's frozen. It looks to be right now.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out on
back.
Pat's end. I mean, you can always go out inside, bud, where the Wi-Fi works. You don't have to be outside, right?
Dude, he's trying to get some fresh air. He's been locked up. Can you give him a break, Hawk? Just because you're a ward daddy doesn't mean you got to shit on everybody else.
True.
Hey, Connor, so...
Got that war daddy haircut, too. Look at that thing.
Oh, yeah. You're right. You know what? I like it. I like it. You can call me War Daddy all you want.
Yeah, I'm sure you love being called a war daddy, just like you love us pointing at you. That's probably your new favorite thing, isn't it?
Yep. I'd bite your finger off if we were in person.
Oh, that's a classic war daddy move. That doesn't surprise me whatsoever.
Speaking of war daddies, AJ, you got any war daddies on the Clemson Tigers?
We got a couple, man. We have some guys that are not scared to be physical, which is the greatest thing. We can handle mistakes on our team, third and fourth graders. We don't mind if you make mistakes. You just got to make them 100 miles an hour, the old coaching cliche. And if you don't know who to hit, just hit somebody. That's all we tell them and have fun. So, yeah, we got some guys, man. We don't have a game. We haven't even played our first game yet.
Do you have any dudes?
Yeah. Why are you guys the Clemson Tigers instead of just like being the Tigers?
Because that's how our league is, I guess, where they assign each team a different color. So we play like the Washington Huskies. There's Notre Dame.
Oh, you got UW?
Who got to be Ohio State?
I don't know. No, there is an Ohio State. We're playing the Buckeyes soon, I think.
That's
so,
whoever Bobby's on. Yeah. Whatever team Bobby's attached to automatically gets the Buckeye name.
Well, I mean, that is most likely he would threaten whoever runs the league to get that, I would imagine. I'm not sure what team he's an assistant coach with. He's coaching with Joey Galloway's team too, so they got some studs on that team. They're great above us.
Yeah, what is this league? I don't understand why every single guy every team that you guys have has like a very accomplished.
What team is
NFL
coaching?
Yeah, did you have to be an All-American at Ohio State to coach in this league?
Well, no. So Herbie moved out of town. He lives he's not in Columbus anymore. But Joey Galloway is from Ohio, lives in Columbus, has kids. So yeah, we see him around. He's coaching. Yeah, there's. I talked to Joey for a while last night. The dude looks like he could still play. Pat, what's up, man? You're back. Is your Wi-Fi good?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's the Wi-Fi. I'm standing up here near my house underneath this deck that needs to be replaced ASAP. Might fall on my head in the middle of this conversation. How'd the Clemson Tigers do yesterday? I missed that. Good? I heard we did good.
Yeah, it was good. It was just a scrimmage. Yeah, we 10 plays back and forth with a couple different teams. Mostly, it was good. There's always things to clean up. You know that, but it was fun.
How's old Hawk?
He was good, man. Offensively, we're trying to figure a lot of things out, but defensively, yeah, he loves to run and hit and seems to really enjoy tackling. So it's fun to watch him have fun.
Good form tackling on that?
Yeah, form tackling, head up, bowl the neck,
Bullshit.
Exactly how it works.
I got some reports from boots on the ground at the Clemson Tigers scrimmage yesterday. It said maybe the Hawk liked to use his Rydell thing a little bit too much.
You got some boots on the ground in Columbus?
Where's it at, Hawk? He said.
James Harrison. Hey, have you guys watched Heels, the show that James is on?
Nah, I haven't got around to it.
Nah, I'm still waiting for the whole thing to be up.
I've heard it's pretty good for some people.
I think it's going to be incredible, obviously. Anything with the professional wrestling business is normally pretty good, but then if it's going in backstage and shit too, I'm sure the drama is fantastic, and James Harrison's probably amazing at it.
Who took your role, Pat?
Some middle-aged white, probably, that's bad at wrestling. I mean, that's basically how they described my character. You're going to be a middle-aged dad who's good but not great at wrestling. I'm like, get the fuck. That's not gonna be my first role. You can fuck off. But thank you for the incredible honor of getting asked, which is real. I was very appreciative of the opportunity, but the way they described my character, I mean, I didn't even read what my lines were. As soon as I just saw this is the character you're playing, kind of the shits in the ring, but middle-aged dad, and you get kind of bullied. I'm like, all right, I'm fucking out here, so we'll have to wait and see who that is. Did you ask Ross Tucker about his podcast network or no?
He mentioned his podcast network. He said he's had it for 8 years now.
What does that mean?
I don't know. He was complimenting you and what you have built here and everything, and he said, as someone who's owned a podcast network for 8 years, the platform that you have built up, he was complimenting you.
That's very nice, Ross. I heard him also say he's going to put his face mask in the ribs of Jadeveon Clowney.
Hell yeah.
That's my first time ever really. That was my first time ever really hearing him speak. I hope I can be on the next time he joins us. I appreciate you booking him. Thank you for doing that, and thank you for doing this show for the last 3 days, AJ. You've been unbelievable. I can't say it enough.
Hey, it's been fun here with the boys. I know you're on your road to recovery, right? So are we on an upswing or downswing on our health?
Okay, so I don't know if my face is freezing. I feel like a hawk here a little bit.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay, good. It feels like I'm in an attic of a bazillionaire's house in Columbus, Ohio. So this morning about 4 a.m.-ish, I woke up in a pool of sweat. I'm talking disgusting, like something I've never experienced before. Once again, I've not really been sick for like 15 years, 10 years or so. So I don't know what I'm supposed to feel, what I'm not supposed to feel. Obviously, with this son of a bitch, I don't think anybody knows anything about it still at this point. But so I had to change the sheets, okay, 4:15 a.m. That's how drenched it was. I'm talking bad.
Jeez. Damn.
So
there's probably some other fluids mixed in with sweat, I'm guessing, right?
Jesus, AJ.
What's your
like
deal?
What?
Like, did you piss your pants? I'm glad you've been known to do that.
AJ.
It's not you, dude.
I haven't been known to do that.
Never do that. Okay, good. Continue. I'm sorry I cut you off.
But
I know sometimes you selectively edit your stories. I just want to make sure we get the truth. You know, this is a service you're giving to everybody. A lot of people that are fighting through this.
No, I don't selectively edit. I think that transparency of me is why this has potentially worked. Do you piss your pants still? I didn't even know that was something that people. Is that what you do?
Piss the bed. I'm saying no. Of course I don't. But I'm saying you don't. There's no. Did you bend down? Did you check to make sure it was only sweat?
I wear shorts when I sleep, so I would be pissing my shorts if I did piss my bed. I apologize. If you sleep nude and you just piss the bed, all right, I got it. But anyways, Karrion Kross. You know Karrion Kross?
Yeah.
Do you know who that? I'm being serious. Do you
The
know who that
wrestler,
is?
yeah, because he was when I was there with you. He was doing. You know, I saw him practicing with his. He has a girl he wrestles with, right? Or he's always with.
Yeah, Scarlett's his lady. I don't know if they're still together or not. Like in the ring, I know in real life they are, but in the ring,
They were
I'm
practicing
not
for
sure
like 2 hours beforehand.
So he got a shoulder injury whenever he was at NXT, and I don't even know if this is like public knowledge, so I probably shouldn't say it, but it helps for this story. So fuck it. It should be out there. He like self-healed that shoulder injury basically. Okay. So he dives in deep into like the muscles and everything. So he did this entire rehab process without surgery, probably needed it, healed himself up. Right. So he's a big, like, I want to know everything about the body type guy, if that makes sense. So he sent me over, and this is no shit. I sent this picture to Frank, I think Nick got to see this. He sent me over 30 text messages with articles attached to each thing that said, hey, do this, 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 and here's the articles to prove why you should do it. And one of them was the amount of water that I should be drinking. So I drink a shit ton of water on a daily basis anyways, but I started he told me like, hey, need a gallon in you, basically. Hey, need a gallon in you yesterday, he said to me. So I drank a gallon yesterday. I think that is potentially why the sweat did seem like somebody maybe did piss all over the bed, if that makes sense. I think I had more, like the sweat was just everywhere. So that was at like 4 a.m.-ish. Change the sheets, go back to sleep, wake up, no fever, no aches. Okay, huh? We're on the other side of this thing, right? We're on the other side of this thing. I start thinking to myself. Then I realized, I can't really breathe right now. This is great. Chest is incredibly tight. Congestion. I'm coughing stuff up. I'm spitting it in bottles. I'm almost grabbing a drink of the same bottle I'm spitting in. I mean, there's been a lot of that situation going on. So very congested. Chest is very tight. I took a COVID test today because I got a little arrogant. The cleanest positive line in the history of positive lines. Still got it. Still sweating. The chest feels tight still, but I think I'm on the other side of this thing, AJ, and it's all because of you, AJ Hawk. It's all because of you.
It is. I'll send you 30 of my remedies, too, backed up by science that Connor sent me. So you'll be in luck this afternoon. You'll have plenty to do.
Well, I will find you, some solace that it wasn't like a Connor-type articles that were being sent. You know what I mean? Old Karrion Kross was sending me like medical. It was really nice of him, to be honest.
Hey, do you reach out to actual doctors? Or I don't know, how's it work? Did you call them? Do they tell you what you should do?
There's been like 5. What is that called when people are trying to test something? Trial?
Yeah.
there's been like 5 different companies that are like trialing shit. Is that that's no way that's the right way?
No, that's it.
Trials,
yeah.
Clinical trials.
Yeah, going through.
So there's a bunch of different companies that are kind of going through clinical trials right now that have been trying to get to me. I think like either emailing my dad, for instance. Tim McAfee has gotten a couple emails. He has forwarded those to me. My guy CFO Phil has gotten a couple emails. But other than that, I haven't really talked to any doctors other than WWE people.
Wow. Well, I think hopefully today is your last day of symptoms. You think it is? You think this is the last time you wake up in a pool of sweat?
I think so. I think the fever and aches are gone. I talked to a good friend of ours, Darius Butler. He had Uncle COVID there a couple weeks ago, and he said once you get to the other side of the aches and fever and the chills too, or something, you feel like you're in Antarctica, and then like 3 minutes later. It's like, oh my God, we are in the hottest place on earth. You know what I mean? Like it's just the chills, the fever, and then the aches are really the nuisance of this thing. You know what I mean? And then I think I'm past that. Now I'm experiencing the chest shit that everybody's talking about, but it's just been annoying as hell, to be honest with you. Seclusion's bad for me. I'm fucking, you know what I mean? I get lonely. Yeah. So I don't like that I've been having to hang out by myself all the time.
Yeah, it's got to be tough. What about, as you said earlier a couple of days ago, you still had your flavor? Is your taste and smell still there?
Yeah, my incredible wife just made me a turkey and ham sandwich. We're currently eating outside. She's back there, because we've got to have these socially distant COVID dates, where we just stare at each other. And go like, what's up, dude? What's up, dude? What's up, dude? Good to see you, dude. That's what we do. And that turkey ham... shredded lettuce. Ooh. Damn. Light mayo.
What?
Oh. Toasted bread.
What?
Oh. Come on. Jalapeno chips.
What?
Potato salad.
What?
I froze up in the middle of that there, but I don't know if you guys got the potato salad or not. It was mustard based, which makes it good, but not. My favorite's mayonnaise base. She knows that. This was last second, but that's the only one she'll eat. I'm feeling much better today, though. I will be honest.
You look good, dude.
Is this the first day you've eaten?
Yeah, this is the first sandwich I've really had. Last night I tried to eat something because I thought I could eat, but I tried. It was another sandwich of sort, and I just couldn't even get it down. Like I just had no want to, you know what I mean? And I'm a big time eater. This has never happened to me before. So I'm wondering now, like, is my stomach smaller? Like, should I take advantage of this? Am I going to have a 10-pack, an 8-pack, a 12-pack? Am I a fucking fitness model on Instagram now? That's what I'm wondering.
If you had to guess, how much do you think you've lost, like 10 pounds? Like, have you lost some weight?
So I think you guys know that I lose weight quick.
Mm-hmm.
Easy come, easy go for me weight-wise. So I think I've lost probably 10 to 15. I'll know whenever I get on the scale. I don't have one at the house. There's only one down at the office, so I'll hop on the scale. But it does, when I look at myself in the morning, it is quite a smaller me than I'm used to, Losing a little love handle, though.
Have you been able to dump yet?
So I squeezed out some rabbit turds this morning after I put out the tweet that said I haven't pooped yet, just to see if I could do it. But it was a strenuous push. So it wasn't like a natural flowing grump, So hopefully after this sandwich here, the mustard-based potato salad really loosened some stuff up in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Love
it should.
Oh, yeah.
Babe. Love you, babe.
Hey, Zito, tell Pat, we have, don't we have some guests coming on in the 2 o'clock hour?
Yes, the fantasy footballers. They're going to talk some fantasy football.
Tony?
Okay, Connor.
Is that
Jason Moore is one of them, yes.
Show, that's that show that they gave the projections on where
Julio
was going to end up. Yeah. I like those dudes.
Oh, yeah.
They did a little Siciliano situation the other day, too. One of their chairs went down, and then it became a whole thing, I think.
Yikes.
I'm not sure. Hey, everybody, can I do a public service announcement?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I'm seeing people on Twitter, their names are like Siciliano's legs are still spinning or something like that. And then Siciliano's a tiny little elf.
Come on. Can't do that.
Hey, listen, Everybody needs to relax. Remember, this is not ever something against Siciliano. This is always against NFL Network's treatment of Siciliano. I know people are doing it for the laughs and the chuckles, ha 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 ha. But when I see those, I have to think to myself, that short little bastard Siciliano can't be happy about this, especially because we were going to bat for him.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you said we are a pro-go Siciliano show. Go.
This entire
Do you think
time.
he appreciates it? Do you think he appreciates us shining a bright light on what's going on over there?
I'll tell you what. Let's see how he's sitting this weekend for these games. Let's see if the NFL Network learned anything. We're just trying to raise a little awareness.
That's right.
That's all we're trying to do. This is just like the punching in public thing. We don't promote this type of stuff. We're just raising awareness that it exists.
Boom.
Hey, Siciliano deserves to be treated a little bit better by NFL Network with where they place him at. Let's hope this weekend they've learned a little lesson.
I am kind of worried that they might one-up it and just have him sit on a footstool or something and really sell it. I wouldn't put it past him either.
No.
Siciliano's not the kind of guy to raise like a big stink or make a massive ordeal about something this small,
Oh, come on. Jeez.
This
Come
isn't
on,
something
Nick.
small.
Nick.
Big
Hey,
problem.
Pat. So I'll get off of Siciliano, that topic. When we talked to Ross Tucker, so Ross has done all the Eagles preseason games. He interviews Sirianni before every game. I think he said he's talked to him 5 times already. He said Sirianni, the players are digging it. They're buying in. Now we didn't have Sirianni do a presser with Ross on. I did mention that Ty was a big fan, but the boys think maybe it was a missed opportunity that I could have set Ty up to kind of go into Siciliano. Not Siciliano, Sirianni.
Well, yeah, and I think I've heard Ross Tucker call a couple of those Eagles games on NFL Network.
Yeah, that's right.
What was that?
I said, yeah, that's right. No, you definitely have. Because Pat's Eagles last week on Thursday was a Ross Tucker joint.
And we watched that, right?
Oh,
we watched that.
Watched the entire thing, front to back, Pat.
In the office, though, also. We watched it, right?
Uh-huh. Put it on in the office, too.
Yeah, so we turned that into a podcast a little bit, and I enjoyed him in the broadcast booth, but I don't know if I would have gotten to that question. That's why you're probably a much better interviewer than I am. But if it comes up that he is doing interviews with a guy that we do interviews with on a daily basis, I think you should have potentially linked those two together, be a matchmaker there. I'm not saying you missed it because I don't know the flow and where you wanted to go. You got a big ass head with a big brain and everything like that, but that does feel like a potential missed opportunity because I have not heard Sirianni speak other than that opening press conference. And in my head, he is Ty. That is who he is. So it would be nice to get a little bit of confirmation or a denial on whether or not Ty is accurate in his depiction of the new Philadelphia Eagles head coach. You're saying the players are liking. That makes sense to me because I like him every time he speaks on our show. I fucking love him. So I think I probably am pretty reminiscent of the locker room if I had to guess.
Ross Tucker said they might win 10 games this year. The Eagles.
Who?
Really?
Ross Tucker. He said the Eagles might win 7, 8, 9, 10 games this year.
What do you think?
I don't think that's the case.
Maybe what Sirianni does during the day of a game.
Does Sirianni? All right, I'm
like I wonder how he gets prepared.
Why are we gonna do this to all these Italian dudes? Okay, why is this your thing?
Does it just happen to be that?
It's a very anti-Italian show.
Well, we can also.
You're the most anti-Italian guy there is, by the way. You were first. You were going to bat for Cuomo. Okay, then you were propagandizing false stories about Cuomo to make him look even worse, Julio.
Oh, you think that scumbag? You trusted what he's saying over the fucking tabloids?
I guess they're kind of one and the same though at this point. But yeah, we need to start being nicer to the Italians. You hear me? I think we need to start being nicer to the Italians. They've been through enough. You know what I mean? They've been through enough. But Syria, 10 games. That was kind of that's put me in a full COVID brain melt. I mean, NFC East stinks, I guess. So that's got to give you a little hope, right?
Yeah, maybe they could get it done. And plus, if you do want to, not bash any more Italians, I don't know if Zolak's Italian or not, but did you hear about rap music making Cam Newton, a worse player or no?
What's the deal with some of these older whites? Like, legit. And I know I am an older white at this point, and I'm getting older by the minute, especially with Uncle COVID swinging in my face every single second of the day right now. But why, like, when that comes out of his mouth, you think he says, yeah, fucking good take, dude, and then walks it off? Or do you think as soon as that comes out of his mouth, he's like, shouldn't have said that. That was very dumb. I'm an idiot. He's calling Patriots games too, right? That's another local broadcast?
Yeah, he was the dude from the first Patriots game with the football team that was on NFL Network that we heard, yeah.
Yeah, so he's a representative of the Patriots, which makes sense, right? I think that makes sense, which is what a lot of people would say, you know, whenever they say they want Mac Jones over Cam Newton. The reason, you know, why New England fans were potentially being attacked and called racist.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Because Scott Zolak is coming out and saying dumb things like this, and it paints a broad brush over everybody in New England. It's like, you think just because the guy listens to music that's upbeat. Did you hear what I said to Ice Cube the other day? I'm very white. I'm a very Caucasian male, so I guess that is what Scott Zolak would say. But I told Ice Cube, like, hey, we need bangers. Like, music is the thing that motivates me, that drives me. And you go to any practice, any weight room, it's going to be the same exact thing. So it's just an out-of-touch thing to say by Scott Zolak. But, I mean, what do you expect? He's a New England Patriot representative.
Yeah, but hey, the point I asked, though, the question I asked was, don't you think Bill Belichick or McDaniels would shut this down if they felt like it was a real issue?
Yeah. It's not a real issue. Yeah, I mean, this isn't a real thing. This is made up in the head of a guy who's an idiot, obviously. And he's from Pittsburgh, isn't he?
Yeah, he's from Ringgold, I believe.
That's not good for us either, I guess. So maybe I shouldn't have just buried all of New England there, because he is technically from where we're from.
That's
which
okay.
is not great.
Is that close to Plum?
No, it's on the other side of town. It's where Joe Montana came from.
Next to Squirrel Hill.
The actor?
No,
The guy in the Lipitor commercial?
No, the quarterback.
Hey, it's not next to Turtle Creek either.
Dang it.
I know I was right. Yeah, I know I was right.
Oh, Billy Gardell.
Yeah,
that's who
dude,
I'm
I was
thinking.
going to say, don't
right?
be making fucking cracks about Billy Gardell.
Come on,
okay?
dude.
Get it right.
I didn't make a crack about him. I saw that. He's
It's
like
Ozempic, not Lipitor. You
Ozempa
asshole.
or whatever. He has a sweet mustache, too.
He does.
He's running fucking cone drills up there, dude. He's running the weave drill on those cones in the Ozempic, dude. I mean, I'm fucking happy to see Billy Gardell living his best life. And he's also in that show.
Yeah, Bob Hartz-Agashiola.
Wait, what?
That's what it's called.
Abishola. Okay.
Come on,
Come
dude.
on.
No.
Yes.
What are you talking
Watched
about?
every episode
It's
of it. It's
Abishola.
Bob Hartz-Agashiola.
No, it's Abishola. Okay. Good God.
What network?
It's on CBS, dude. It's the
Yes.
fucking best show on CBS.
What is it called? What's the real
It's
name?
Bob
Hartz-Agashiola.
No, it's Bob Hart's Abishola. God damn you, Ty.
I've seen
does that
every
mean?
episode of it. You haven't seen one.
Yes,
so
I
don't
have.
fucking come at me and try to tell me what my favorite program starring Billy Gardell is called.
You don't even know the name of Billy's love, and that is Abishola. Okay, my friend?
Agashiola,
No.
okay, and that's the end of it.
Good Lord.
All right.
Glad we got that figured out.
Me too. I'm pretty pumped about it. I'm going to go watch that show.
Hey, have you started watching Ted Lasso yet? You should pound out these 5 episodes. Now 6. The 6th one's out today. It is unbelievable.
I know it's unbelievable, and I've gotten over my anger with Ted Lasso because, you know, they're going to do the same thing with the morning show, aren't they?
Yeah. And the other show that released today, the show C. I don't know if you've seen it yet, with Jason Momoa and our guy Don Batista now.
Oh, Don Batista and Momoa, too. They're making a buddy cop film, I guess, as well. I've seen that on the internet. But the morning show, hey, nobody gives a fuck one episode at a time, Apple. All right? Give us 5. Give us 5 at a time, dude. You guys created this world. What are we even doing? But I don't have Apple TV in my room where I'm staying. So I haven't been able to watch that. Now would be the perfect time. And also, if I was to watch that without my wife, it might cause another war. You know what I mean?
Okay. I did see that Bob Ross documentary, though. You were right. It could have been about a half hour shorter, but it was very cool to see. Like, I didn't realize how absolutely like him going to Grand Central Park and like the amount of people that came up just to see him paint was insane.
Yeah, they didn't know he was popular at the time because he was just painting in tiny little studios, and then he goes and has a painting session in Grand Central or whatever, or Central Park, and it's just the whole park is basically filled up with people, and they're like, "Oh fuck, we have a superstar here." It was like, yeah, no shit, huh? No shit. Everybody wants to see old Robert Ross paint out here. Fuck the Kowalskis though.
Fuck them.
Coach Kowalski is one of my favorite coaches in the history of soccer. He's this Polish man who drank beers warm and had a high-pitched voice. He's a good guy. Killer Kowalski, absolute legend in the wrestling business, trained a lot of our favorite legends and icons. But the Kowalskis that I'm referring to, it'll be fuck them forever. They're a terrible group of people, those Kowalskis.
Terrible.
I'm going to have to watch this. Hey, Pat, who is going to sit in for you tonight at SmackDown?
I'm not sure. I don't know who that is.
Who was on deck? Like, who would even be in the running? Who does that?
I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea.
I mean, Corey Graves could come over. Would they do that?
That seems like that's the most logical move, but I have not been told that, So I know Michael Cole's not exactly thrilled about me missing this and then missing next week too, right? Because Jay's wedding, So Michael Cole is, mocking me because he's missed 2 shows in 25 years, and here I am, Uncle COVID, and then Bro's wedding. I got stuff going on, so I mean, it's going to be a long 2 weeks here. I'm going to watch. I don't know how I'm going to feel. I'm like,
what are you going to watch?
That I've missed it. Yeah, and I'll watch because I love wrestling or whatever. But like the last 3 days watching you guys do the show, like I have hated it immensely. Like hated it. I've been dripping in sweat. Not the show. I've liked the show. I have hated the feeling that I've had, though, not being in there. Like, I like the thought of being in there. There was the game I was suspended after the October 20th, 2010 situation that happened. Miscommunication, I think, is what it really was. But the cops have their story. I have mine. I've told it a couple times. It's much more believable than theirs, for sure. But that game I missed was like a Monday Night Football game or Sunday Night Football game, I think, against the Texans. Watching that game from the house was one of the most sickening feelings I've ever had in my life. And I don't want to say I've had the similar thoughts here the last couple of days, and tonight I'll probably feel that way, but it's just something inside me where I'm like, I fucked this up. You know what I mean? And it's like, I just don't love it so much. So I'm not happy. I'm not going to be there, especially if something awesome happens. I'm going to be so bummed that I didn't, You know what I mean?
Hey, I would assume, is it still the Summer of Cena? Because I saw that dude has another movie out now. It was Vacation Friends. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. I'm definitely going to watch it, though, because Cena only makes bangers. I believe the Summer of Cena is over.
Yeah, Summer of Cena's dead.
Is he not wrestling anymore?
Yeah, Roman absolutely wiped him off the face of the planet. Thank God he did, too. But, Pat, to your point, it fucking sucks here without you, too, man. We want you back as soon as possible. And plus, there's nothing you can really do, you got the vaccine. It's just kind of unlucky, not really part of the draw here. My big question, and I appreciate you for that, Connor. I miss being around you guys a lot. I miss it a lot. I miss being around my wife. This is weird. This is very weird, this whole thing. How did everybody, Yeah. I mean, I was giving you snaps on Tuesday. It doesn't make any sense. It's just random.
My wife and I fornicated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
My wife. Thank you. Thank you. But you're talking. That's a lot of things, being exchanged there, and how.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, you would think that at least 1 or 2 of us would have tested positive after. I mean, we were around you for 2 days before it happened, so nothing.
Yeah,
you
but
can
I don't
do.
know. But also, I have no idea where I got it because Michael Cole was with me every step of the way over there in SummerSlam. He tested and he took a couple.
But
tests.
But hold on, no, Michael Cole even said it though. Was Michael Cole jumping in the crowd between every match, dapping up random celebrities?
Okay, cool. So, what about my wife flying home with me? Her friend flying home with me?
Oh yeah.
Everybody else.
I don't claim to have any answers. Trust me, I don't think anybody does. Yeah, it is very weird how this all plays out.
What I'm saying is, I don't think I got it in Vegas though. I think I got it somewhere maybe Monday at the gas station.
But you could it could have even been on if you got Subway on Monday from and it was on what you ate your Subway.
Now Fogel's in jail. Okay, so Fogel didn't give me COVID. Yeah. AJ.
Not much longer. He's getting out soon, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, you said you were pumped about it, you scumbag.
Okay.
I saw the text you sent to Connor.
Yeah.
You're pumped about.
Produce that text and put that up to the camera, guys.
I deleted it, I believe, but I could see if I still got it.
Whoa. Hey, this show cannot become like that. At least one person needs to stick up for the unstick up forable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
What does that mean exactly?
Okay, like, think about it, run it back. I'm not sure I'll be able to say it as cleanly and smoothly the second time as I did the first time. To be honest. With Fogel, it sounds like there's some people we can just let die. You know what I mean?
100%.
Okay, yeah, well, good. We'll put a list together of who we let go, who we send out, and
it's
still keep around.
No. Number one on that list, Guy
self-explanatory.
Fieri. Put him at the top. The guy stinks.
Oh, man. All right. I wasn't thinking Guy Fieri, but I mean,
yeah, more like
I wasn't Guy Fieri. I mean, see, that's a problem too. That all of a sudden we're lumping Jared Fogel and others with Guy Fieri. The guy said he's going to make me famous. I think that's a nice guy. All right, I'm going to go try to dry off from the sweat. I'm going to go try to poop too from that sandwich. I can't thank you guys enough. The show's good. I'll call back in the third hour, though. I appreciate you.
Good luck,
All right,
pooping.
Feel better, Pat.
Hey, baby, Pat.
Have a good
Appreciate
poop.
it, man. Hey, and for all the people out there listening, we're going to jump out to a break too, but we're going to get out to the 5-Hour Energy phone lines right after this, so stick around. Come on back. We will be here. Pat McAfee Show.
Is the MCDC name tag then? Because it's a long time. ACDC. Do you hate it? Do you love it? I feel like we potentially offended you after finding out you're a diehard Metallica guy and we call you MCDC.
No. Listen, I love classic rock as well. So. I don't strike you as a numbers guy.
Yeah, whenever I heard you, I was just like, you know what? I'm not 100% sure this guy is just going to be listening strictly to the analytics guy. I just kind of a feel I had.
I got through addition and subtraction. Look, the alpha comment was really, I wasn't directing that just at myself. I was saying that's Brad too. Brad's an alpha. That's our coaching staff. I mean, let me say this about our coaching staff. One of the reasons I made the hires that I did with these guys, I know you'll probably end up asking this, was because just coming out of this COVID, I wanted to make sure we had more flexibility with the roster. And if these coaches need to play maybe a couple of games, so not everybody's thinking that way.
All right, it seems like every 3-4 years the Lions get a new head coach. It seems like the rebuilding process has been happening my entire life. 26 years old and I've never seen a playoff win for the Detroit Lions. So I want to know how you and your coaching staff plans to make this one different.
Yeah, look, first of all, I think I love Foxy, man. I tell you what, I love the optimism that he brings. Look, I would say this, to me, the short answer is Sheila Ford Ham. If you want hope, she's the one who's bringing the hope. Because I had put serious thought into this as I was hiring my staff. I was thinking about hiring you to see if you would like to be, our special teams coach. And then I thought, you know what, I know you doing this radio, it softened you up a little bit. I chose not to. All right, I hate to say that, Pat, but I needed to just let that be known.
Well, I want to let you know, true alphas know when to hang them up. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Campbell. Let's test out this Sharon! Proper footy. Seems like it has a bigger sweet spot. That's the greatest sport on earth right there. Aussie rules football, also known as footy, AFL. My first time bombing in official shorts that are a little bit restricting. I think I lost a ball, to be honest. Might be a Lance Armstrong situation down here, but I can see why this sport is beloved, because those balls fly. Need to get down to Australia, meet up with the Magpie boys, and finish out this AFL season as maybe its biggest fan in America. That's how it is. I didn't think I could continue to be an FCC regulated person without really hitting my max potential.
And that's why he's with us. I love it. The Pat McAfee Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio.
Here we go. Welcome back. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Friday, August 27th, 2021. I'm AJ Hawk, sitting in for Pat today. He's a bit banged up with COVID. He'll be calling back in most likely during the third hour. We're going to get out to the phone lines right away here. So, Nick, if you're still available back there to dial people up on the 5-Hour Energy phone line, let's see if we can go to Peyton in California right off the top.
Hey, AG boys, how we doing? It's Feel Good Friday.
What's up, Peyton? How you doing?
I'm good. I had a question for Boston Connor.
What?
Connor, if you could get in for the Patriots and have a Rudy moment, what would your celebration be if you made a play?
AJ, what was your celebration again?
Well, I thought for sure you'd be helicoptering your meat all over the field.
Nah, I probably wouldn't helicopter my meat. I would probably do the AJ Hawk shocker or just flip off the crowd, hoping that I'm at an away game instead of a home game, because that would kind of suck. Or obviously I'd grab one of the Minutemen's weapons and fire off one of those goddamn bullets.
How about bring back classic?
What's that?
The Aaron Hernandez safe.
I think that one got retired, but possibly.
Oh, it's a good sully.
Possibly the Stephen Ridley kick in the door would be nice.
Yeah,
I don't know.
safe.
We'll see. Definitely not the safe.
Peyton, thank you for the call, Connor. I thought it was you. Honestly, your go-to would be, you get in the end zone and you go and you squat and you drop the football between your legs behind you like you dumped it out.
Take a massive dump. No, I would do the Randy Moss moon the crowd before I took the massive dump. Definitely, no doubt about it. If I was involved in pulling
hopefully
my
Joe
pants
Buck's
down.
not doing the game.
Well, if he is, maybe
he's learned from that.
Yeah, I think he would be like, "Oh, pretty cool celebration from the fat stooge who somehow scored a touchdown."
Hey, I'm going to go to somebody else. So, Nick, can we dial up MJ in Texas? I think he wants to talk about something that I have some questions about. MJ, what's up?
Hey, Jay and the boys, what's going on, man?
How's it going? Not too much, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. First of all, speedy recovery to Pat. I know he's dealing with COVID right now.
Oh yeah.
So speedy recovery to him. But now I want to get y'all's thoughts on. I don't know if y'all heard, but Cristiano Ronaldo is going back to Manchester United, and I wanted to get y'all's thoughts on it, especially Gumpy's.
Thank you, Gump. Did you hear that? Did you know this happened, Gumpy?
Yeah, I did. Thank you for informing me. Actually, I just found out. It is massive. It never really made sense that Cristiano would go to Man City, as there was the reports yesterday. But
City's better.
City might be better, but it appears Manchester is still red, my friends. And Cristiano grew up. He became a superstar at Manchester United. As soon as there was an offer from Man U, he was always going to go back there. It made too much sense for him.
Isn't Man City, I believe the old boxer Ricky Hatton, that was his team. Do you guys know anything about that?
Yeah, same with the guy from Oasis.
Really? Why do they what is the difference between the two teams?
I think I'm not positive. It might just be where you grow up. It's like Manchester's either red or blue, and it's
so one's not one hasn't been dominant over the other over the years.
So Man U was always the best forever, and then Manchester City was bought by people with $1 zillion, and they just started buying players, and nobody ever thought they would get that good just buying players, but they continued to grow, and Man City has been better for Man U for probably the last 5 years now.
Man City's got the coach too. He's got the guy Pep.
Yeah,
He's
but
the dude.
Pep Guardiola announced that it's probably his last 2 years at Man City, this and next, so we'll see what happens after he leaves.
I mean, is this? I guess this is huge news in the soccer world. But I guess how excited then is Man U that Ronaldo? He's coming home? I guess.
Yeah, it's like he was their savior. Like it's You know, it'd be like Liverpool. Like if Suarez came back to Liverpool, like I would lose my mind. So Man U fans are ecstatic, as they should be. I think it's awesome that he's going back to Man U, as much as I hate Man U.
AJ, were you trying to get it's coming home, it's coming home,
Cristiano's coming home.
Yep. There you guys nailed it. What does a guy like Ronaldo do when he's done playing soccer, honestly? What can that guy – I mean, he can do anything he wants. He has $1 billion, probably more than that. But he seems like he is one of those rare, ultra-competitive, ultra-driven guys. Like, what can he do when he's done playing?
Same thing that racehorses do. Just use them for their seed, AJ, and just populate the earth. Okay?
He'll be like Brady, though, AJ. He'll probably play 3 or 4 years at Man U. The deal he signed was for 2 years. I could see him playing in the MLS till he's like 43, 44. Like, the guy's a specimen.
Hell yeah. How much can they pay him?
Pounding
How much could
cheeks
they
on
pay
some
him?
private beach somewhere, AJ. What do you mean? What's the guy going to be doing?
I know. I'm saying a guy like him doesn't seem to do well with downtime, with free time. He seems like he's always working, always on to the next. So I can't imagine he's just going to go hang out on a beach or go play golf.
He's going to do the AJ Hawk route. Like you just said, it's the competitive guys like yourself and Cristiano. He'll just, be a world star, absolutely first-team All-American father. All-world, excuse me.
He already is. He already has his kids, I mean, how many kids does he have now?
No idea.
Beats the hell out of me.
You talk about having some pressure on you as a kid. Can you imagine if that's your dad? Like, he is internet wherever he goes. Like, it's a different story with Ronaldo. If you're one of his kids, if you play soccer, good luck, man. Good luck trying to live up to that.
But
don't do anything.
So there was a tweet that showed Messi signing with PSG got 1.1 million likes in a week. Cristiano joining Man United already has more likes in the happened like 2 hours ago. Like, Ronaldo and Messi moving teams in the same transfer deadline is bonkers. It's insane for soccer, and it's good. I think it's awesome.
4 kids.
4 kids.
Jesus.
2 boys, 2 girls.
Yeah.
Does he have a full-time girl with him?
In the picture, the family photo, there is a lady there, so I'm guessing there is a full-time lady, unless that's a nanny.
Perhaps. He just seems to be so mysterious, doesn't he? Like, whatever he does, like, I know he lives in a different stratosphere than the rest of humans. With how he's such an elite performer, and obviously everyone loves, like, the dude's all jacked up and tan and everything and perfect hair. But man, like, it's got to be at some point. I'm sure he would love to be anonymous somewhere, but I guess he could buy just islands or countries and go hang out there if he doesn't want people to see him.
Yeah, he bought that island during COVID, and they just moved to the island until like the whole thing was over, which obviously didn't work out due to soccer and it never being over. But there's a chance that he does that. Yeah.
Well, he could buy. I think he could maybe pick up Johnny Depp's island for a discount, right? I know he's had to go through liquidate some of his assets at some point. Nick, are you still back there on the phones if we want to get to somebody else?
Yep. Who you got?
I want to go to Jacob in Idaho right now.
Hey, Jay, boys. How we doing?
What's up, Jacob? Welcome to the 5-Hour Energy phone line. Use code McAfee at checkout to get 10% off on some of the original summer flavors that are out there right now. What's on your mom, pal?
A curious question. You Super Bowl.
Uh-oh.
What do you think, AJ?
Yep. What do you think?
What do you guys think?
I'd say yeah.
I like the Super Bowl too.
Yeah, I'd say yeah. Pretty sweet.
Is Jacob still on? Because he probably doesn't know that we could not understand what he was saying. His phone was cutting out.
I think he was saying the Super Bowl is very cool.
Mm-hmm. You know what, Jacob? I co-sign. I concur. The Super Bowl is great. It's really, really cool. If you're Tom Brady and you have 7 rings, then it's even cooler for guys like that.
Is he back?
Jacob?
He gone.
He's gone. How was that Super Bowl week though, AJ? When you went, like, was the whole media thing? Because you guys fly in like the week before, right? You spend the entire Monday to Sunday there.
Yeah, we flew in, I believe. I think we flew in. We actually flew in on Monday, and then Tuesday was like media day, and then Wednesday you start your normal practice week. It was cool. I mean, ours was in Dallas, and it snowed in Dallas for the first time in forever.
Jeez.
So they couldn't. We were dealing with that, getting to our practice facility from the hotel. But yeah, man, there's a ton of. The hotel is a different situation. Like, everything's roped off. You do like media availability in the morning before your meetings and practice and all this stuff. And as the week goes, every day it gets closer to the game, you can kind of feel it. More people are coming into town. The places just get more crowded. I remember I went to dinner the night before on Saturday night before our team meetings with Chopper, my father-in-law. He was there maybe the 2 nights before. The night before, we had more family in town. And it was, you could see it like at the restaurant, people, either wearing their Steelers gear, Packers gear. People were super excited. And then obviously a ton of, like 50,000 corporate people that weren't fans of either team or just there because they got tickets because they were being entertained by their company or whoever. So it's it's a unique situation. And definitely one thing that it seems like common sense I came away from as soon as we won the game. I was like, thank God we won this thing, man. It would suck balls to lose in the Super Bowl when you come that far.
Did you guys all go out after? Or did you just have one of those like after parties that was already scheduled to happen either way?
We did have an after party back at the hotel. It took forever to get back there, but once we got back there, families were there and hanging out. And we had a performance by one Bob Ritchie, Kid Rock.
Is that right? What? You booked him yourself, didn't you?
I did not. I did not book him, but
that's why you're still best friends.
No, I didn't know him. I don't know him. I definitely didn't know him when we showed up there. But the dude played every instrument, ran around the stage. Slash jumped up there for some reason. Slash was there, this top hat playing guitar. So it was fun, man.
Did you go up? Sorry.
No, did you get like nervous before that? Like you played in a national championship in college, but like could you feel how big that moment was, like going into it?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially pulling up to the stadium, just seeing all the hoopla around the stadium, and then getting to the game. Normally, you get to the game like 2.5 hours early, 2 hours, 2.5 probably. We got to the game like 5 hours early, so you're sitting there forever waiting around. But then when you finally get to go out for your initial warm-ups, I think that's when you can feel it. Like you can feel a difference between a 1 o'clock kickoff game and a night game. It's just more electricity in the air. It feels bigger. It's louder, whatever. And you felt that the instant you walked out of the tunnel, I think, when I was in Dallas playing against the Steelers, and you just see there's billions of people on the sidelines then just looking around, seeing all the different people there trying to warm up. And, it's it's a unique experience. I'm very thankful and glad that I got to get one ring. But, it's like everything else. We had Aaron Rodgers at the helm. We should have won some more, no question. Aaron's out there trying to figure that out and get another ring because he definitely is good enough to have 20 rings, I think.
Were you hanging on to every play much more than, during the other games just because it meant more? Like, were you up watching, making sure that you guys were getting first downs and shit? Or were you just still on the bench, like, kind of figuring out how to stop Big Ben and Rashad Mendenhall?
Well, yeah, we're definitely always trying to figure out how to slow Big Ben down in that offense. They have some studs all over the place. Their offensive line was really, really good, too. But no, I always was a guy that watched our offense. A lot of times, if I was on punt team, I absolutely watched the offense, especially on third down. I'm praying for first down conversions because I don't want to have to punt, But yeah, I was up. I would say I was more when our offense was on the field. I was like nervous for them. I'm like, come on, man, let's score, let's go. I'm like nervous for them. And then luckily, when I would go in on defense, you're not really nervous because you're actually playing. You can have some kind of impact on the game. I'm sure you guys feel that when you watch something. You're nervous when you can't control it. And it's like, all right, whatever happens, man. Like, that's what makes me the most nervous when I can't control anything.
Damn. That is so sweet, though. Well, I mean, shit, I didn't play in the NFL, so I don't really know how it feels.
I'm saying being nervous for other people. Like, I've talked about it before. My oldest brother, I watched him wrestle in high school, and it was the most nervous I've ever been in my life. I was like, oh, man, I don't want him to get beat. And then I watched him get beat before, and he was like, all right, whatever. Like, he moved on, and it was tough for me to watch other people when I can't control it. I feel like that's what makes me nervous for other situations.
No, AJ, after I was done playing, I went and coached back at the high school, and my brother was on the team coaching, and I was way more nervous like watching him and like not being able to control anything than ever playing in the game.
Oh yeah, I'm with you 100%. And I had a buddy get married out in California, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, and he asked my middle brother Ryan, to officiate the wedding, and I was in the wedding. And I've officiated a few weddings myself. And as we got closer and we made the walk and we're standing, I started getting nervous for my brother who was officiating the wedding. I'm like, man, it's pretty hot out here. Like, this is not an easy situation. You better keep it quick, like 12 minutes, get people out of here. And he luckily did a great job, but I was really nervous for him. I don't think he was nervous because he had prepared and had his whole thing well rehearsed and practiced and all of that stuff. But I don't know, maybe one of you guys I think should officiate maybe a fan of the show's wedding at some point. You guys could get certified online just like I did and go figure it out.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna do that, but also what was your go-to when you were officiating? Did you have any good one-liners like hope this one lasts, or no?
No, didn't make any jokes about anyone being any kind of behavior that they had in the past. So, but Connor, that's a great way to put a bow on this hour 2. We will be wrapping this hour 2 up right now. Hour 3 is going to be huge. Have some, the fantasy footballers. I'm sorry,
Yes,
I'm thinking the name right. Sirius XM Channel 82.
He didn't get it.
Yeah, I got it.
Did you hear everything that was being said whenever you were potentially...
Just from you.
Oh, so you did hear it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's address it.
Hold on.
All right.
You can be a hater.
No!
And you can change.
Carson.
You can change. We can change.
No, at the moment I was at, okay, Carson. You know, with the Daily Show, the live Daily Show, you know, we can potentially get referred to as prisoners of the moment. You probably did hear me say some things. That was at a much different time.
You can backtrack a little.
No!
It's cool. We're here face to face. You can change. People change, all right?
By the way, you are much bigger than I thought you were. Oh, yeah. When Jalen gets drafted there, was that the beginning of it all? Was there a miscommunication? What happened between you and Doug? Because they were saying it was fractured beyond repair.
Yeah.
What happened there? Is all of that accurate? Is that all kind of getting blown out of proportion?
Yeah.
And where did it start?
For one, I don't like to ever come out and say reporters aren't telling the truth because I don't. But
Orlovsky does it.
I'm not. I'm not going to dispute every report that's out there. You know, the way the season went obviously wasn't ideal. When Jalen was drafted, that had no bearing on me. I trusted the organization. Okay. I signed that contract. You know, I was devoted to them, and I felt like they were devoted to me. So I trusted the pick. You know, that had no bearing on my confidence or my abilities. You know, the season unfolded not how I would have liked it. Personally, I could have played better. We lost a lot of games at the end and just didn't fall into place the way we wanted. But there's a lot to learn from it, you know, as a man, as a player, and all those things. And, you know, I have still a lot of respect for Coach Peterson, and I think without a doubt those reports are very exaggerated. Like I said, I don't hear a lot of them. They come to my attention from my agents or different things.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of respect for him, and it was unfortunate for everybody and how the whole thing kind of just went down.
There was a couple still shots that made its way around where you and Doug Peterson appeared to be giving each other a nasty look.
Yeah, I saw those.
It's not true.
Not true at all.
Oh, you were not saying, I wish you died. With your
I don't even think I was looking at him in those shots. So I did see that. I'm like, of course, they're going to play this one up. They're going to make a story out of anything. That's how it is. So, but yeah, that's not true at all.
Okay, so I'm happy to hear you weren't giving Doug Peterson death looks. Like, you never thought, like, oh, football isn't for me. Like, there was never a thought where I don't like football anymore. Or I don't want to be in this bullshit league anymore with this business. There was never a thought like that?
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. The way the season went, I mean, it was frustrating. And
People
so
have those moments.
that's why I stepped away, and it almost rejuvenated me. You know, it's almost like last year pissed me off so much. I want to come back in a different way and do everything I can. I am thrilled to be here and to have this new start, new opportunity. And the community seems amazing. The fan base seems amazing. Like we said, it seems like the perfect fit.
Should we just make it real? Should we just say, hey, we're done, we're riding off into the sunset? I mean, do you want it to be live on your show that Vinny's officially done? Is that what you want?
I don't want that, but if it's going to happen, happy it's happening. Yeah. I would like that to be known. So don't feel obligated. Don't feel forced.
Put it this way. Hey, let me see. Today is what, Wednesday. By Friday, if paperwork goes in, you heard it here first.
First of all, congratulations on a legendary fucking career, dude. In a game that revolves around the score, okay? That's how they pick winners and losers, is in a game in which they keep score. To be the all-time leading scorer in scoring sport, I think many would say, hell of a fucking job. Yeah. Unbelievable. South Dakota kid, you didn't have an easy way either. You went over to Virginia to train. You're a high school teacher, I think, or a substitute teacher. Then you go to the World League over in Amsterdam. Somehow survived the off-the-field activities that you could have fallen into. Stayed focused on kicking. Go into New England. Beat out Matt Barr at some point, even though he had an incredible career. Win Super Bowls. Memorable moments. Biggest moments in the sports history revolve around your foot in a lot of cases. Congratulations, man. You're the fucking best. I was honored to be your team. Yeah.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about. Yes,
speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Welcome back. Hour 3 here. Last and final hour here on the Pat McAfee Show. I am AJ Hawk, sitting in for Pat, recovering from COVID back home.
See, that was money.
All right.
Here we go.
Third hour, you get it.
Crushed it.
Yeah, you've gone into the third hour. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying, man. I'm trying to figure that out without being able to hear it. It's good. You know, so this guy, or I think we only have one. We have a guy coming on, one of 3. There's 3 co-hosts on this show that they do this podcast. They build up into a absolute juggernaut, bigger than all the big networks that have their fantasy shows and all of this stuff. So I'm curious. So, boys, I know a lot of you play fantasy football.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of questions would you have?
Oh, I mean, we got to know the sleepers. We
got to know the sleepers.
We got to know the rookies that they think are going to get a lot of burn this year, who might overperform a lot.
Hey, how do people already have? I feel like there's already been people have already had drafts, haven't they?
Oh yeah. People will. Some people have drafted 2 weeks ago. You know, and
Should you wait till final cut?
You absolutely should.
You always wait till the week of opening night on Thursday.
And
always.
definitely after the final preseason game, because then injuries are taken out pretty much.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Ideally, you're drafting on Wednesday night of next week.
Yeah, that's kind of the go-to time. You either do Tuesday or Wednesday.
I've heard a couple different guys that have been around that have said they were going to their fantasy draft or that just had their fantasy draft. I don't know, but the good thing is I think we have him dialed up right now. So please welcome Mike Wright, the Fantasy Footballers. This guy, what he's built, what they have done. He's a co-host of the Fantasy Footballers. It's just gigantic right now. So please welcome Mike Wright. Mike, what's happening, man? I was trying to ask the boys, like, what? Everyone has questions about this. What you're supposed to do? People are doing fantasy drafts, at least around me in Ohio right now. Is that just stupid?
If you were able to hold off until right now, it's not the worst. Because with the difference of preseason, like, I mean, you know that it changes things of having only 3 games. Usually, the rule of thumb was wait until week 3 is done of preseason, because then you know that the starters should be relatively safe. You're not going to get a huge news dump potentially, but as of right now, I mean, we're still waiting on a few things. The Jameis news that he is the starting quarterback for the Saints, that we got that out of the way, so now you can adjust your players accordingly, like where you can feel a little bit safer with the Alvin Kamara dump-offs from Jameis as compared to Taysom Hill, because he has the rushing ability that Jameis doesn't. But we're still waiting on San Francisco. I mean, we've been recommending on the Footballers that Trey Lance should be one of your last picks, even if you already have your quarterback, because as soon as he gets on the field, he immediately jumps into top 10 consideration, even top 5 with that cannon paired with the rushing ability. And you could have a draft right now and get Trey Lance as a steal, and by next Wednesday we could have an alert that says Trey Lance is actually starting week 1. So there's still some stuff that needs to settle out, but for the most part I think we're good. I don't think we're going to see a lot of starters over this last week of preseason, so you should be okay right now. But I'm with your crew that wait as late as you possibly can.
It seems like common sense. You have to wait until the final rosters are out. I've heard a lot of different actors and celebrities out there. They talk about they have these fantasy leagues. They compete against each other. Do you have any, like, I'm guessing there's probably some big-time actors and celebrities that reach out to you to try to get your advice. Hey, do you charge them ever? And what could you give us some names of some people that actually surprised you that reached out that wanted some advice from you?
Sure. I've actually now created a pretty strong, online friendship with, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Try Guys.
Oh, yeah.
They are massive. And Ned and me we've connected over fantasy football. He came out. We did a live show at the Largo a couple years ago over in California. He came out. He was my guest. And, we go back and forth quite a good bit on the DMs. We've gotten into talking about life, and he's a new parent and everything. So he's probably the the biggest celebrity who has slid into the DMs, so to speak. We've talked with Cooper Kupp a little bit. He's actually we found out he's a fan of our comedy show, The Spitballers. He does steer away from fantasy football, and then we've done, over the past couple years, we did these like a bigger league with guys like Ninja, Tim the Tat Man, Zac Efron was in there. So we've mixed it up with some big names.
I wonder if you ask Zac Efron about his new jaw, his new face. Like, I don't know what's going on there, man. He looks good. Hey, it looks good, just different to me for some reason. Hey, who in fantasy football, like, is there a segment of people that play fantasy football that maybe don't paint it in as good a light as it should, or give it a bad name, or make other people not want to do fantasy?
Yeah, just like all aspects of life, there's some degens out there, and it's not too late. You can change your ways, but I mean, the most visible ones are the people who are tagging players on Twitter saying, "You let down my fantasy team." Like, there's really no place at all to tag a player in any negative connotation. If you're tagging a player, it better be, "Hey man, we'll get him next week," or saying thank you. Hey, appreciate that performance. That was big time for my fantasy league. And what a cool thing that has kind of come about in the last couple years is really the charity portion of fantasy football. Like, so our ultimate draft kit, $1 of every sale from that product goes right to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. And we've seen players taking things to another level where when a player goes off, like in championship week, you find out their charity of choice, their top, the one that they support the most, or they're involved with, and you say, "I'm going to make a donation. I'm going to take some of my winnings. I'm going to take 10%, send it to the charity that you support." So we've seen a lot of that, things starting to spin in the positive direction for fantasy football.
That's good. Yeah, no one wants to be all negative, and then you don't want current NFL players to hate everybody that plays fantasy.
Right.
And speaking of hating people, we have a guy, Boston Connor. I know he has a big question for you about something going on. I know it's going to be Patriots related, probably Mac Jones, but Connor, what do you have?
Yeah, you know what, AJ, I'll pivot because I'm not going to do that, and you're right, a lot of people do hate me. Mike, what do we think about deciding on what rookies to take? I personally think that Najee Harris is probably the number one rookie to have off the board this year, but how do you go about deciding that, and depending on who the quarterback is, really?
Sure, no, I'm with you. I'm all in on Najee Harris. Mike Tomlin has already showed the hand in preseason that Najee Harris is his guy, which shout out to Tomlin for not doing the song and dance of, well, the rookie's got to earn his way up. Maybe he's the starter, maybe he's the backup. Like, we just got an announcement out of Jacksonville that Trevor Lawrence is going to be the starting quarterback. Yeah. Oh, like come on. Yeah. Come on. Stop wasting everyone's time on that team. Put him in as the starter. We all know it's going to be him. But Najee Harris is in line for a tremendous workload. Just look back to Le'Veon Bell. Look back to James Conner when he had to be the guy when Lev Bell had the year he held out. Najee Harris can be objectively bad at football and still be an incredible fantasy football pick with all the volume that he's going to see. Now, I don't think he's bad. I think Najee Harris is going to be incredible for that team, and in the second round, by the end of the year, to me, he's going to look like a value. The other guys, I already mentioned, like Trey Lance at the end of drafts right now is someone I'm targeting everywhere. Javonte Williams is very interesting, the rookie running back from drafted in the second round by the Denver Broncos. We did a deep study here for fantasy football, and running backs drafted in the second round in the last 10 years, they have a 73% chance, or not chance, I'm sorry, 73% of the time, those rookies have produced higher fantasy numbers by the end of the season than the veteran, than the incumbent over there. So in the sixth round, I'm cool taking Javonte Williams because he's a great player, and the history is on his side. You might have to wait a few weeks for that to really become a powerhouse for your team. Like, look back to Miles Sanders when he was drafted in the second round by Philadelphia. The beginning of the year, it was a little bit rocky, and then over the last 60% of the season, you did see him take over and help out teams.
Well, I know our resident Steelers fan, Diggs, COVID Cowboy. Diggs was the fantasy expert here on the show. I guess he has retired. He claims he cannot help everybody. Diggs, what was your question?
Damn it, AJ. Mike, the one question that everyone wants to know, because they know the big names, they know everything like that, is the sleepers. Like, who do you think is going to have a breakout year that we have no idea it's coming right now?
Sure. He's awakening a little bit, and since we were talking about the Patriots, I'll mention Damien Harris is interesting at the running back position. The ceiling is capped because he will be used on first and second down, but Sony Michel was traded away to the Rams. That was probably more of a vote of confidence for rookie Ramondre Stevenson, but Damien Harris is interesting, especially you have to project that Mac Jones will be starting sooner or later. And the biggest knock on Damien Harris was that Cam Newton is incredible at the goal line and vultures those touchdowns. But once Mac is in, those should go to Damien Harris. And then for the wide receiver position, I'll throw out the name Michael Pittman for the Indianapolis Colts. He's a second-year player. He was, remember what happened? All the hype is on those first-round wide receivers from 2020 because they all, except for Jalen Reagor, it was a lot of hits there, especially Justin Jefferson coming in for the Vikings and setting the rookie record. But Pittman was drafted very shortly after Brandon Ayuk, and now Carson Wentz, does he have it left? That remains to be seen. But Michael Pittman looks like he can take over and become the number one for that team. The past 2 years, T.Y. Hilton is only averaging 50 yards a game. He'll still help out the team, but I don't think that he's not the number one anymore. So you have a very ambiguous situation. And Michael Pittman prototypes as an alpha wide receiver with he's a 6'3", 6'4", 220 pounds. He's a big dude. He can get it done, yards after catch. We saw that already last year on a lot of crossing routes. But I think he's a player that can take the jump, and he's going in 10th, the 11th round of fantasy drafts, while all the attention's on the other second-year players. So you can sneak Pittman on your team for a value.
Ty Schmidt's next. What's up, Ty?
Mike, when you were looking at different guys this season and you're doing your rankings or whatever, did you have to look into vaccination status at all, or are you trying to stay away from some of those guys because you don't know if they might burn you and not be available on Sunday morning? And also, what kind of year do you think Randall Cobb is going to have fantasy wise? Where does he stack up in your rankings currently?
Sure. First, for the vaccination, I think the only one we're very confident is Cole Beasley. He's out there saying he's not vaccinated, so you could take that for however you want to play fantasy football. But we don't have a true database of who is and who is not. We're going to trust in the protocols and really hope that these guys can stay on the field. So it hasn't impacted my personal projections because I can't say for sure who is and who is not. And then for Randall Cobb, it's been so long since we've seen Randall Cobb really do anything of note, even on the Packers with Aaron Rodgers. What we're talking 8 years or so since we saw Randall Cobb have that breakout season. Meanwhile, he'll be a safety blanket and a trusted player for Aaron Rodgers to go to. And we all know the name Devontae Adams, so I don't even need to talk about him. He's one of the best wide receivers in the league. The name I will bring up, because this for a sleeper, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who has kind of been left for dead by the fantasy community. A decent draft capital pick, but the beat reporters out of Green Bay, that drumbeat for MVS has just slowly been building and getting louder and louder. And they're talking about he's been one of the best players in camp. I don't know if he can overtake Allen Lazard just based off of what he's done in training camp. But we've seen the big playability from him on the field, hitting those 60, 70-yard receiving touchdowns. So he's a name that I'm going to monitor over Randall Cobb, because at this point I don't think that the fantasy ceiling is truly there for Cobb anymore, where MVS, if he does actually take that step and break out, he'll be a wide receiver flex play that can really pour that nitro onto your weekly score.
Need that.
Nice.
Hey, last thing for me before I know Connor has one more as well. You mentioned Randall Cobb. Now, are you going to see a lot of these fantasy drafts where people jump out and they take Randall higher than they normally would just because of how much pub Aaron has given him and they brought him over and it's all this news and we know how much Aaron loves throwing to him? Are a lot of people going to take him pretty high?
I don't think so. We haven't seen that. Now we are on the footballers. Our podcast goes year round. I mean, we as soon as January hits, we're still doing 2 shows a week, all the way until July, where we jump to 3. So we're a little bit more hardcore, but we do try to cater our show to everyone from hardcore to casuals. And with the sharps, drafting best ball over the offseason and the hardcore players, Randall Cobb really hasn't been on that fantasy radar. When you get into your home leagues, people who are just picking up fantasy football, like they're grabbing a magazine, which is, by the way, outdated. I would recommend picking up the Ultimate Draft Kit, which stays updated. But they might see that news and go, I recognize Randall Cobb. He could jump up in those home leagues, especially if you got some Green Bay fans. Know your league. Green Bay fans, they like to draft their players. We have one in the office who is always pushing Robert Tunyon on us.
Big Bub.
Yeah, he's interesting, to say the least. But I don't think Randall Cobb is someone that you need to worry about. And if you're in a home league where someone's going to take Cobb, just take the value that has pushed a more relevant player towards you.
All right, Connor, what do you have?
Yeah, Mike, a lot of people like the first pick. In your opinion, what pick is the best? Is it 3? Is it 7? And then you mentioned some of the rookie quarterbacks. Is there any value in Trevor Lawrence, or is his O-line so bad that he might get killed before the end of the year?
Do you mean like as in you're in the first round? Where do you want to pick from?
Yeah.
I'm still on the Christian McCaffrey train. I know it burned a lot of people last year, but it was injury. It was like a random assortment of injuries that I don't think are related. When you talk to, check out the fantasy doctors on Twitter, and we don't see a correlation between these injuries. And look what he did in those, I think 3 games. I think he played 3. But he was elite. He was back to being Christian McCaffrey. So part of fantasy football is separating yourself from the emotions of last year and the people that I've seen the questions. Like, I took McCaffrey last year. He killed my team. Do I really take him again? And it's, yeah, you do, because Christian McCaffrey is 2 players in one starting fantasy slot. He's a wide receiver and a running back. And with small sample, but with Matt Ja Rule, as we call him on the show, we know that he's going to be out there just feeding McCaffrey nonstop. So if I can pick my spot, I'm still taking that advantage. Now, for Trevor Lawrence, I'm not concerned about the career of Trevor Lawrence. I won't argue with the scouts of he's the best quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck is the quote. For fantasy purposes, he's surrounded by some solid talent with DJ Chark, the addition of Marvin Jones, and Laviska Shenault, whose value should see an uprise. Unfortunately, the injury to rookie running back Travis Etienne, I think that manufactures some more interesting targets for Laviska Shenault. But Trevor Lawrence he's okay, I think, as a quarterback too. He's not someone I'm targeting in my drafts. In that scheme with Urban Meyer, let's see if the college offense can really work in the NFL. The vibes of Trevor Lawrence in the preseason haven't been like he's tearing it up like Zach Wilson is doing up in New York. So he's a name I'll monitor and watch, but he's not someone I'm going after in my draft.
Awesome. Hey, Mike, I really, really appreciate the info. We'll be following along. I know you guys have built up a giant thing you have going over there, but thanks again for your time, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Wright.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, bud. Thank you. He's got a nice setup too. Audio sounds great. Video looks great. I might need to call his tech guy actually.
Yeah,
get some tips. Get him to set me up.
Even if you get
what's wrong with
tips.
Zeke?
Yeah.
Wow.
Zeke's great.
Oh, is that why you laughed?
You're a sack of shit.
Is that why you laughed after that? You sarcastic.
That was very
prick.
quick. Very quick, Ty. Good job. Good for you.
Hey, anytime. Hey, you play fantasy or no? You ever dabble?
Who are you
or
gonna
no?
pick first overall on your team this year?
Depends what kind of league is it though. There's like
Keeper.
PPO leagues.
Yeah,
or
keeper, half point PPR.
Oh, hey, Pat.
What was that?
Tough, dude.
How we doing?
What was that?
Fantasy football.
Yeah,
it's back.
How'd that all
thing on the
happen?
tracks.
How'd that happen, AJ? Did you ask them to come on the show? How'd that work? How'd that whole thing happen there?
I'm not sure how anything happens around here, Pat.
I mean, I understand that people like fantasy football, but goddamn, AJ, you were falling asleep in that guy's face.
Yeah, that was despicable.
It was. Never. I was never doing that. I'm trying to. I'm trying to balance the text messages Connor's sending me mid talk.
What? What are you talking about? I just told you I had another question.
Bro, you legitimately were doing this one.
The Wetzel.
Who was the other guy?
The Wetzel, the pretzel.
Yeah. Watch it back. Who was the other guy?
Jason
we had on
Moore.
that show?
Jason Moore.
He was electrifying, wasn't he? He was good.
Oh yeah.
If anything, too, I'm sure Morency has some fantasy advice he can give us too.
Well, the Hitman doesn't follow me on Twitter, so I might just hate him because of that or whatever. Because as soon as I saw because you guys said there'll be earlier the footballers coming on or whatever, and I was like, oh, awesome. And then I saw the guy that we liked from that show was tweeting about the other guy that was coming on the show, the Hitman. And I clicked on his thing, and it was like 178,000. I'm like, okay, this is awesome. Let's go. And I saw he didn't follow me. I'm like, all right, fuck this guy. Why are we giving him a platform? And then I listened to the conversation. I'm like, okay, I got some good fantasy advice. And then it was hard not to just look at you the entire time, AJ, because
I was not dozing off.
Yeah.
AJ.
You're not
there's people that care about fantasy football out there, AJ. Maybe show a little fucking respect, dude.
I have a lot of respect for fantasy football. I mean, almost everybody I know plays fantasy football. I'm not good enough to get in there. They don't let me in their league.
Well, it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and ultimately, at the end of the day, sports gambling is just 100 times better.
Hell yeah.
But I do respect the fantasy footballers out there. They do so much research, so much research out there.
That's big business, man. That fantasy football, the NFL loves it because it brings eyeballs to the game. That's what drives up the TV deals. So it's all part of it. We all need that stuff. I sat in actually, I believe I was in high school, and a kid I knew was like putting on a fantasy football draft, and we sat down, and there was like 15 of us there, and we were like 2.5 hours in, and we all hadn't made our first round pick yet. And he was scheduled for like 15 or 18 rounds, and I was like, all right, I picked my first rounder, then I had to go. And so then that was it. That was my fantasy football experience, I guess.
Hey, this is going to change subject quite quickly. And shout out to the FF Ballers, man. I'm sure it's a good show. Are they a FanDuel show?
I don't think so, but I'm not sure.
All right, even more so shouldn't have had him fucking on. But, like, I'm joking. It doesn't matter. I mean, as long as you gave out good information. I'll draft Christian McCaffrey still.
100%.
Yeah.
I don't want to switch subjects here. I don't want to switch lanes or whatever.
I think it's safe.
I saw that there was a 101-round boxing match. Have you seen it? Speaking of rounds, you're talking about fantasy football. Did you see? What was that? What was it, 110 rounds?
Yeah. 19 hours.
Have you ever heard of this? I didn't know.
I've never heard of it, but like the UFC back in the day, there was fighting where they didn't have time limits. They just fought, or there'd be like 15-minute rounds.
110 rounds.
It was scheduled for, and did it go 110?
Won 110 rounds. I don't know who won, but somebody died afterwards. Can you guys pull up the? I think I sent it in, right?
Yeah. Screenshot.
We're full on laptops here, Pat.
Where did this happen, Pat?
It was in 1893.
Wait, excuse me?
Yeah.
1893.
Like Cinderella
and
Man.
it was Jack Burke versus Mr. Bowen. And it went 110 rounds.
Burke won, yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, he won a split decision, I think.
Well, it was 110 rounds.
Fight was 7 hours and 19 minutes, 110 rounds.
Two of the judges gave it to him, and one
both of his hands were broken.
Two of the judges gave it to him. One of them gave it to the other guy. What a hero you are. You didn't even know this happened until, 7 seconds ago?
1893. I was pretty...
There it is. Where it goes, Zito?
Nice.
7.
Look at that thing.
Do we know this happened, though? If it's 1893, how do we know it happened?
What are you saying? People are lying about stuff?
Newspapers. You know, they had newspapers back then.
Yeah.
They did. You're right. Was there any photography at the time?
It's a great question. I don't know. I would imagine
something.
Yeah,
but we would just assume then that the newspapers were telling the truth back then, right? Because they were the only ones that really telling any information to anybody about anything, right?
Yep.
I mean,
True.
I don't
Just like
dive into
today.
that whole thing. Yeah.
I mean, that's how it is now, though. Don't they all tell the truth?
Well,
newspapers, they're kind of dead, but you're talking about internet?
Oh no,
Like,
I still get
sites?
the old newspaper. I got to crack that puppy out every morning. Nothing like the feel of that paper in your hands, man. Makes you
I have
feel
that
like
coffee
a man.
and newspaper.
Hell yeah.
Oh my God, what a morning. Hey, I want to thank the Hitman for joining us, honestly. If I was more invested in fantasy, I'd probably give him a little bit more respect. I was listening to his words and watching AJ fall asleep. That was a little bit of a bummer. Have you get back into boxing here? Have you picked a winner for this weekend, Paul Woodley or anything like that?
Man.
Did you watch the open workouts, the public workouts? I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy the public workout from Tyrone Woodley.
No.
Why?
It did not look smooth with the mitts. Now, this is coming from somebody who only boxes in virtual reality, and isn't a great boxer, but the mitt game did not seem as smooth as what I see on the internet all the time from what appears to be lower level boxers. I'm not 100% sure if that means anything. It might be like juggling in soccer, which it doesn't really mean anything. It's just a showcase of skills that you had to work on or whatever. And maybe he didn't work on the mitts. He worked on fighting more. But the Jake Paul being a minus 160 favorite or whatever at this point, is that what he is?
Yesterday was 200 something. Let me check.
Yeah, he was minus 210. Woodley was plus
164. Yeah,
that's wild to me, isn't it? Isn't that crazy to think about? But then after watching a public workout, I was like, oh, maybe that's accurate.
Yeah,
but okay, I have a hard time with Jake Paul being the favorite, and Jake Paul, believe me, I give him a ton of credit, but Tyron Woodley is by far his toughest test he's ever had. Like by far, it's not even close, I guess.
He's a dog too. He's a dog. Askren's hugging trees and throwing frisbees. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. That's what made him do his thing, and I'm appreciative of his sacrifice of his face and his body for our enjoyment and our entertainment, but also for his living. So kind of goes both ways there. But Woodley's a dog, and that press conference, it seemed like a work.
Yeah.
Seemed like a work to me. A little bit of drama there cooking up with the family.
With the mom, you think with the mom stuff was a work, really?
I don't know. I mean, maybe.
I read Jake's quotes afterwards. Did you read Jake's quotes? He said he wishes he's not happy it went that way. He's like, I'm all for selling a fight. I think he said I'm paraphrasing. If this would have been some kind of scuffle without the mom involved, then I would have been okay with it. We're selling a fight. I don't like that it had family involved. He acted like he's probably kind of worried, hey man, we know people respect their mom a lot and they're going to do whatever it takes. So, and Tyron seemed to be very upset, or he's just a great actor.
Well, and then Woodley actually told one member of Paul's team, I saw on his way out, I haven't heard interviews since, but I saw him on the way out. He looked at one guy and he was like, you fucking know, dude.
Yeah.
Check your man, guy. Don't disrespect my mom. So maybe Woodley's all pissed off. I assume a lot more people bet on Woodley after seeing him get pissed off at that thing. But Jake Paul, the way he speaks of just the utmost certainty in his ability, I have nothing but respect for. I honestly do. And it's all right, go and get it. And he's committed to the game, I think. He's committed to boxing. I think he is fully committed to boxing, and I'm excited. I'll watch it. You guys watching? Are we watching?
Hell
yeah, I think
Sunday.
so for sure.
Sunday night, got to do.
Hey, AJ, here's another thing that you probably watched. I saw the MLS All-Star Game. Did you see that the other night? Actually, fucking entertaining.
It was not cagey at all. That was electric. You're right.
You're right. It wasn't a cagey. It was a tie. Went to shootout. It was exactly what soccer is. Even at the All-Star Game, it was soccer. But all the skills challenges, Gumpy, how long have they been doing that? That shit was electrifying.
That's the first time I've seen that, Pat. But that the Americans goalie, that guy is unreal. He saved those penalty shots in those other tournaments too.
Tucker, I think is his last name.
Yeah, something like that. But he's second.
Turner, maybe.
Turner, yeah. He's second still. I'm interested to see if he'll become the number one goalie for them in qualifiers.
Dude's got moxie. He seems he's young.
Yeah.
He was being interviewed during the All-Star Game. I was watching it. The skills challenge was cool. They need to do more of that maybe for actual game results.
But it was awesome to see. It was a passionate All-Star game though. It was, those teams did not like each other.
Yeah. Who was the other they play?
Liga MX. It's the league in Mexico.
Oh, I thought
that's
that
good.
was.
Pat, I think you're right. I think some of the soccer purists definitely want them to go away from actual real soccer games and try to decide these they have a tournament every weekend. Decide these gigantic CONCACAF Cup
what did you just say?
By seeing
what?
how fast you can
Come on.
mile per hour you can kick the soccer ball, and if you can kick the ball to hit some targets, then that's how they judge the final score, right?
Well, I don't know what they're coming in. Okay, which you just tried to. I don't know what you said. Concave cum, I think, is what you said.
No,
I'm not
concave
sure.
cup.
What's this guy's deal?
Yeah.
Well, it's a concave, the gold cup, obviously. Then you got the gold cup. Then you got the Euro.
It doesn't matter. Hey, you know, Pat, why are we not talking about? Am I right when I say this? I think I've seen this out there. Is Pac-Man fighting tonight on Rough and Rowdy?
I don't know if it's tonight, but we're a part of that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's what, Pac-Man's fighting. I feel like I haven't seen it promoted. Like I'm gonna watch. I need to find it.
Well, I think, the folks at Barstool, I don't want to say created the internet, but damn near. You know what I mean? They know that people. What are you going to promote something for 2 weeks for if 2 days of promotion does the exact same reaction? And that's kind of the way the internet is. I'm very pumped to see these videos. Those Sunday conversations that Caleb does are always fucking hysterical. And the one with Pac-Man's no different. But remember, Pac-Man called into our show, definitely thinking we were still with Barstool, which we're like 3 years removed now at this point. But I want to fight you at Bobby Lang. Hey, you got it. Hey, you got it, Pac. We got you, dude. I guess a lot of people think Bobby Lang's going to win that.
Who is Bobby Lang for people that don't know?
He's won a lot of Rough and Rowdy fights, I think. I do believe, right?
Yeah, I think he's like a 4-time champ or something.
He's not Rizat, though. Remember that? Who's that?
Oh, yeah, the dude who got knocked into the next dimension at the one we were at. Holy
the
shit.
Dude who knocked somebody into the next dimension.
Right, right.
Yeah, he didn't get knocked. He did the knocking into the next dimension. And then who was the dude? Who was the big dude that wore the J?
Torpedo? Something torpedo?
Torpedo. That guy, I fucking love that. Vito the Torpedo. Yeah. I wasn't going to fight him, but then he got into Facebook. That's what he told me. He started commenting on my Facebook, and then I had to come show up and beat the fuck out of him. And that's exactly what he did, by the way. That's exactly what Vito the Torpedo did. He showed up and beat the fuck out of that guy. Those Rough and Rowdy events are electrifying. People think Pac-Man's not going to win. Pac-Man's going to win that fight. He was training with Vaughn Rivers and a couple other guys. A lot of my former teammates have been through his camp, over there at West Virginia. He stopped down at West Virginia State, where a lot of my former teammates are coaching now. Feels like he's right back at home in Charleston, very comfortable. And it feels like the boxing ring is going to be something that he's going to be like a fish in water to, if I had to guess. He told Caleb in there, he said, fuck it, I'll tell you my plan.
Yeah.
which I absolutely loved. He said, Bobby Lang's heavy. He's like, while he's got a half a tin.
Yeah. Unreal.
Which I've never seen him not with that.
Yeah. Always has the jaw in.
He'll get in there. Is that fight tonight? That fight's tonight?
Yeah. 8 p.m., yeah.
He'll get in there tonight, I assume, with a fucking...
Oh, that would be awesome.
I assume This is good for the boxing world, by the way, if Pac-Man gets in there full time.
I think you get reminded of like the videos like Pac-Man, like knocking the guy out and everything. But I think this guy, I hope he's not, but underestimating how quick Pac-Man probably is as well. It's not just big haymakers like this. Very good athlete. I think he's very, very quick.
One of the most explosive athletes of all time.
Yeah.
Played offense, defense, and special teams. People forget that. And then he was a lockdown corner for like fucking 15 years or something like that. Mm-hmm. Like he is one of the greatest athletes. Go ahead,
Pat.
AJ.
You know as well as anybody, and I played with him for 1 year in Cincinnati. Pac-Man's cardio and his conditioning, like I rarely ever saw that dude get tired, and he would take 1 billion reps every single practice. We're running gassers or our conditioning, and Pac-Man's always winning, beating all the DBs. Like the dude is on the next level when it comes to his cardio too. So that should be interesting. If it does go, how many? I mean, is it scheduled for what? 5 rounds maybe?
3, I think, is every Rough and Rowdy fight. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe it's a title fight, so it might be 5. But Pac-Man, he's been training like a buck, like a real. He opened a performance center. I think it's
sweet.
I forget the name of it. In Cincy, yeah, he has a full performance center. He's been training like it's like a full title fight. He's been training for like months and months at this point. Whenever he called us, I think he was already a couple months into training.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, I want this guy. I think he was already in there. I guess the internet. I try to get a good read on the internet from the Sunday Conversation responses. I guess a lot of people are thinking Bobby's going to win. I think it's like. Whoa. I would never in a million years put $1 on anybody fighting against Adam fucking Pac-Man Jones.
Yeah.
It's something to think about. I've been with Pac-Man a couple times out and about, and I maybe have seen him and get an altercation.
He's been training for a while, hasn't he?
Yeah. Those things are over before the other person even really knows it. Normally.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is... I'm pumped for him, though. I'm excited that he's getting some shine, though, here. You know what I mean? He's
I think it's well deserved. I hope he wins, man.
He's ended up in some situations that I think he regrets, but growing, maturing, and everything like that. It'll be nice to see him hopefully get a win here and maybe get some flowers too for how incredibly athletic he is as a human. Sorry about that, AJ.
No, you're good. It was perfect. I was going to talk to Connor and make sure Connor knows. So he has a read into this break, and then Ty's going to bring it back from the break. We're going to jump to a break. You're going to come back with us, I know, because you're looking good. You're feeling good, right?
I actually just took a dump.
Hey!
Yeah, man, I did
like
it.
A real one?
Woo! It was a good day.
It was a real one. It wasn't like your little rabbit turds like you said this morning?
This one was a little bit of a... You know what I mean? But we still got the job done.
All right, well, after this ad read from Connor going into break, we'll be back on the other side. We might take a few phone callers. We've got Pat, who's going to join us. He's holding up the peace sign for 2. I'm not sure if you need something or you want to say something right now.
No, I'm just going to hang up. Let you guys do your thing. I'll call you back.
Yeah, call us back. Connor, take us to break.
College football kicks off this weekend after what has felt like the longest offseason ever. And with many stadiums planning to...
Oh, you got it.
And with many stadiums planning to allow fans this year, it's important to prepare yourself for the challenges of game day. One of the best things you can do is to prepare simply. And that's drink plenty of water, but not just any boring old water. Kick that shit up a notch with the brand new CBD drink mix from CBDMD. CBD drink mix combines CBD and vitamin C into one convenient and easy to use product. Just pour, shake, and go. Drink mix is available in 4 amazing flavors: peach, lemonade, kiwi strawberry, and fruit punch, which means enjoying the benefits of CBD has never been more enjoyable. And to make it even easier to try the new drink mix and everything else CBDMD has to offer, they're giving you 25% off your next order when you use promo code McAfee at checkout. Once again, that's CBDMD.com, promo code McAfee for 25% off your purchase of superior CBD products from CBDMD.
Great job, Connor. This is the Pat McAfee Show. We'll be back in 4. Thank you.
Football is the greatest sport on earth, and why do you like football?
That's a really deep question there, Pat.
I know. I think I can get a good answer out of you, though. Like, I think you'd be able to talk about it in a way that I think a lot of people haven't, because you've been at the pinnacle of it for so damn long and inside of it, and your brain is a pretty fantastic one. We've learned here over the last few weeks, obviously. Last few weeks, that's it. That's all the time we've learned that.
I think it's the greatest sport in the world for one main reason. It is a true team sport where it is damn near impossible for one person to dominate an entire game. If you look at other team sports, basketball with 5 guys on the court, I think you've seen multiple players over the years. Maybe one player, maybe 1 or 2 players on a squad be able to dominate and win championships. Baseball, you can have a dominant pitcher and win championships. Soccer, you can have a dominant forward and or goalie. That seems to be a little more of a team sport, but you don't have 11 players engaged at the same time on every play. It is truly a sport reliant on every player on the field to do their job in order to be successful. And I think that's why at times, certain star players can get maybe too much credit and maybe too much blame on the flip side, because it does take so many players at the same time in 3 phases to win football games. And I think that's the beauty and the draw of our sport, is that something new happens all the time, because you are literally dealing with 11 humans on the field at one time who all have lives outside of football, and there's distractions, there's a reliance on coaching, there's a reliance on preparation, there's a reliance on diet and performance. I just think there's so many facets to it that you see something new every single week, and I think that's the beauty in our game. When it comes to the love that I have for it, it's rooted, and I think like any player who's played for a long time, the love is not just about our sport, it's about competition. And I think there's nothing in the world for me that fills that need and that hole I have like competition. I think players who played for a long time at a high level, you have that need to be satiated competitively, and it's a love of going out there and going against guys and being in an environment where you know that nothing is guaranteed. And that's why at times I've taken umbrage to people saying that it's easy, because it's not easy. It's never easy. And I think that's the beauty in our game, is that you see things new every single week. It's never easy. And your only thing you're guaranteed is the ability to compete. I love that aspect of it. I love competing. I love going out there and harnessing the fear of failure, where I think so many people who maybe don't love football as much, the root of that is a deep fear of failure, that you might go out there and your best might not be good enough, and that's not okay with you.
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show. We've been talking about a lot of different things to watch this weekend, and we have a lot of good options. But I'm saying you got to tune into the 2021 Coke Zero Sugar 400 from Daytona International Speedway this Saturday night, 7 p.m. NBC. There's one spot left in the NASCAR playoff field of 16, with several drivers eyeing a playoff berth. Teammates Austin Dillon, fan of the show, friend of the show, and Tyler Reddick are battling it out on points, but a win from anyone else outside of the playoff field could put them both out.
Oh, no.
Yikes.
Eric Jones and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. have both won the summer July race before, and a win would be a major upset. And coming off the Daytona 500, where Michael McDowell played spoiler, and last year's Coke Zero Sugar 400 that saw Bill Byron lock himself in sparks, are sure to fly this Saturday.
Billy B's the driver.
Once again, the Coke Zero Sugar 400 from Daytona this Saturday night at 7 p.m. on NBC.
Can't wait.
Bill Byron's a war daddy for sure.
For sure.
Yes, he is. That was the beautiful voice of Ty Schmidt there. This is we're here wrapping up this third hour. I know, Foxy, your vlog for this week will be coming out at 3:15 Eastern. We'll have a little after hours. Until then, hopefully Pat can stick around. His fever looks like it may have broke. I don't know exactly how he's doing. So what's up, man? How you doing, Pat?
I feel good. Thank you for asking. It's great to be back. We got NASCAR and fantasy football. I'm out of the office 2 days. The show's going to shit.
It's true.
Let's get Austin Dillon a win, though. I fucking love that guy.
Absolutely. Need it.
Please. He was on when I was in studio once, right?
I'm not sure. He's a fan,
I'm not asking
though.
you. I know you don't remember. The boys might know.
What are you talking about? He is a fan.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying Austin Dillon, though. I'm saying Pat wouldn't remember that. You guys would. I was in there in studio. I think we had Austin in, and Pat dialed in during that talk.
Yeah, he sat on his back porch, actually, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that, AJ?
Yeah.
Huh?
I was wondering if that read, Ty, I didn't know. Like, I thought there was a guy that was leading in points. Did they leave his name out?
I mean, I don't watch the shit, AJ. I don't know. I thought Stenhouse was, I thought he was at the top. I'm a Keselowski guy.
It's got to be KY, right? Kyle Busch got to be at the top.
Oh, yeah, you're right. They may have actually left KY off the read. I see Bill Byron here, but I don't see KY.
AJ knows exactly who's at the fucking top of the standings. That's why he brought it up, because he
Kyle
is who
Busch.
he is.
It's Kyle Busch.
It's Kyle Busch, right?
Friend of the show.
No, it's not.
Friend of the show. Yeah, I like Kyle Busch. He has a brother, right?
Yeah, no, it's a different Kyle, I think, is what AJ's trying to allude to.
Come on.
Who?
You know.
You know, you
AJ.
dirtbag piece of shit.
Where did you go, Pat? Oh, good. You're not dead. Good.
I'm not dead, but you're trying to get this show, to that point.
I legit.com.
Yeah. Son of a bitch.
You mother.
Shut up,
You're talking
dude.
about virtual reality driver.
Yeah, exactly.
simulator driver or whatever. But anyways, that's Sunday. I can't wait to watch, Ty.
Saturday. You might be able to get the replay on Sunday. Saturday, 7 p.m. But you were telling me all week, like, hey, I feel like that's almost what's getting me through COVID is knowing that I got the Coca-Cola Zero Sugar 400 on Saturday night.
Can't wait.
In the middle, you had 104.5 temperature, and you just texted me, just got to get till Saturday.
Yeah.
Got to get to Saturday to stay alive.
Got to get to the Coca-Cola Zero 500. I can't wait. Saturday at 7,
Saturday at 7, live from Daytona.
See you there.
NBC, dude.
Oh, my bad.
I assume. Now, I don't know how you guys are running the fucking operation. I mean, we had a fantasy footballers guy on earlier today. And Ross Tucker. I've never met him. So you guys are running your own show down there. I assume NASCAR is paying us to read that?
They fucking better be.
They are going to ask for that cash back, I believe, if they watch this whole entire thing through. And I'd like to let NASCAR know. I apologize for that. We have the utmost respect for those old moonshine vehicles, making their way around the tracks in the fastest way possible and the teams around them. And we can't wait for the Coca-Cola Zero 500 on Saturday. I can't fucking wait.
Hey, Pat.
Is KY racing? If KY's racing, I'm betting on KY.
Hell yeah. Hey, speaking of vehicles, Pat, when's the last time you had the old Hemi Wrangler up and running?
I've been Jeeping so much, I'm fucking sick, dude. I think that's probably how I got COVID.
Oh.
One of these trees that I was scaling with my Jeep with a Hemi, and it probably fell off like the maple syrup coming outside of it. I mean, that is potentially what's happening out there. To be clear, I have not turned that Jeep on in weeks. I've already looked to sell that thing. The auctioneer, what was his name? The guy pronounced my name wrong, Matt something.
God.
I remember.
Johnson.
Moravec?
Yeah. Matty Moravec or something.
I have four
sure
to
that's
five
right.
texts. I have 4 to 5 texts already typed up to him and deleted that have said, like, hey, how do I put that Jeep back in?
Yeah.
How do I get them back in there? And also, can I get that 17% charge you guys gave? Can I get that back as well? But I haven't fired it away, to be honest. I haven't fired it away. So I'm still sitting on it, AJ.
And I think the good selling point, you could say, like, hey, this car has $117,000 built into it. And they'll be like, oh, cool, we put all kind of new aftermarket stuff. It's cool. Like, no. It's $60,000, but I paid $117 because it was an auction and I got bullied into it.
Yeah. I don't know about bullied. Okay.
No. You got caught up in the moment, I would say.
Yeah, I was kind of drunk with dopamine. You know what I mean? I was drunk with dopamine.
Sure.
And Connor, you were there. You weren't helping, by the way. You stood up and got the camera and were like, whoa.
Well, shit, I mean, I tried to get you to buy like 8 cars after the Hemi in it. So, I mean, I don't know how you didn't.
We should have pulled the trigger on the Jeep, hindsight. We should have got that fucking Hummer that was.
Yeah.
There was an original. Are you falling asleep now, too, AJ?
Wait,
is everything
an
okay?
H1?
You just swallowed a yawn.
What the hell,
I didn't.
Hawk? Yeah,
I just watched you swallow a yawn.
No,
you
it
did it to the
doesn't sound
fantasy
like me.
footballer earlier. Now you're doing it to me. What happened?
It doesn't sound like me, man. No way. I would
Early
never fall
golden
asleep.
hour over there in Ohio, I see.
You're
son of a
watching too
bitch.
much Clemson Tigers tape last night.
Huh.
You got COVID?
No, I'm good to go, man. Why?
COVID makes you sleepy.
So you just been falling asleep at random times? Like does it just hit you like a bunch of fatigue at once?
No, you're just kind of, I don't know. I'm not normally a person that's just like tired, you know? So, like this has been a very weird experience for me. I'm not somebody that's just normally tired. Normally I'm pretty fucking, normally I can't sleep, So it's like, it has been fascinating. Just the aches and the exhaustion, I feel like go hand in hand. But today I feel good, man. I don't think I could even pass out right now if I tried. I also did eat a couple edibles for the first time in like 3 days. So,
there we go.
I mean, maybe we take off to the moon soon and get a little bit better. Maybe that's the best way to beat COVID. Leave planet Earth. You got it. Give me 4 more edibles.
There was that thought a little bit where marijuana was a solution to the COVID.
I've gotten a couple messages from people that tell me that actually there's some sort of nicotine thing going on with COVID as well. I guess I haven't looked into it enough, but more than 5 people have tweeted me that there was a nicotine thing too, allegedly against COVID.
You want me to grab a car?
darts,
You want me to grab a carton of darts and head over, and we can just hack a bunch of hoons in the backyard, or what?
I think that is the right move. The way to beat COVID is to get cancer.
Well, yeah. I mean,
fighting
one
fire
way to
with
do
fire.
it. Fire
Yeah.
with fire.
Yeah.
Hey, they
Definitely.
say the best way to get over somebody is get under somebody else. So
Hell yeah.
get over COVID. Oh, that boy Gump. That boy Gump. So I'll get over COVID and get under, some nicotine and carcinogens.
Let's go. Darts on the way right now. I'll dash mart them over.
Only if they're Newports. That's what I used to sell.
Oh, Newports guy, huh?
Were those the ones that had glass in them? Which was the one that had little shards of glass in it?
Winston's had some glass in it, I remember, for a little bit.
Most,
It's
yeah.
kind of mess you up.
Wait,
yeah.
like you mean like the fiberglass that's in dip or what?
Yeah, there was
Uh-huh.
fiberglass in some of these cigarettes, I guess, too. And those were the cigs I was stealing from my friend's mom out of her ashtray and then selling them for 50 cents. And that was the big upsell. That there was some glass. This is 5th grade. I don't recommend everybody else doing this. I'm just telling you what I did when I was younger.
Did you find an empty pack of cigs to put the butts in, or did you put them in a Ziploc, or just one off like in your pocket? How'd you do that?
I think the first couple that I did pull out of the ashtray, I just kind of, and then just walked right up the street to the degenerates and say, "Hey, anybody need a smoke?" And then 50 cents. Boom. Perfect. Here you go. And then I was smart. I never got high off my own supply. I didn't smoke cigs. Never did. And I saved up until I could buy a pack. I only did this so that I could get grape juice as an extra.
Yeah.
All I wanted was extras. It was like 50 cents or 75 cents extra for this grape juice that came in this little thing. It was so fucking good. And I didn't want to ask old Sally or Tim for more money for lunch for this extra. So I was like, all right, I got to figure out how the hell I get it. That's how I came on the price. The grape juice had to be 50 cents now I think about it, because the price of the cigarettes was one grape juice, which is all I was looking for, was 50 cents. And then once I did that, something went off, and I was like, wait a minute, don't get the grape juice just yet. Let's get 100 grape juices.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then I went in, I found some adult that bought a 5th grader a pack of cigs, which has to be the worst person of all time. Shout out Plum. Shout out Plum, by the way. And then I just started moving shit all the way up until I had the entire... What's that called? What's the sleeve?
Carton. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had a cart in my backpack when I got caught. I was ready to move. I mean, I was going to be slinging all those grape juices, dude.
So you really were like Pablo Escobar, kind of. You went from a single butt up to a carton of cigs. That's unbelievable.
Thank you. I feel like that didn't get talked about enough, like the entrepreneurialism of the whole thing.
Right.
My mom did try to bring that to the table, though, in the discussion with the principal and the superintendent, that were both trying to send me to boot camp. That I believe my parents said, "Who's paying for it? Like, are you guys paying for it? Are you just expelling my kid? Who's paying for this?" So, I mean, I got suspended and all that shit, but I feel like that was a good little business sense there as a 5th grader nobody's going to talk about. And once again, that type of story is just one of many that happened in my childhood that makes me scared to death to potentially procreate and create a fucking demon child. You know what I mean, AJ?
I mean, of course, I understand your worry when it comes to that, but I think you'll be all right. You know that. You'll be fine. You'll figure it out. Nobody's ready to have a kid when you have a kid. You just figure it out. Once it comes, you bring them home. Okay, cool. This is on us now. There's nobody else to take care of it. It's ours.
Yeah, but if you don't, you end up on Dr. Phil.
True.
And then it's a
I
nightmare.
mean, yeah, you can end up a lot of different places if you don't take care of your kid. But yeah, Dr. Phil, I guess that might be one of the good spots.
Good spots? You end up, listen, here's an immediate no. If I get asked to go on Dr. Phil, Jerry Springer, or probably the AJ Hawk Show going forward. That's
okay. Well, good luck. You know what? You're in luck, Pat, because I believe there's right about 30 seconds. We're going to let you take us off of SiriusXM. I know we're going to have about 15 minutes of after hours most likely, but you have just under 30 seconds, so the floor is yours.
Man, I can't thank you all enough for listening to this show all week. I've been battling Uncle COVID, and by the time Monday comes around, I'm going to be ready to go.
Hell yeah.
Mad Dog Russo with Mad Dog Unleashed will be on the other side of this 6-minute break. His show will be much better than ours, but not better than AJ Hawk and the boys. Cheers.
Nice.
Beware the crimson shit.
Ebby, how's the vlog today?
It's very good, AJ.
It is. It's pretty good.
Is it?
Yeah, Foxy's getting really, really good.
Oh yeah.
I enjoy him. I enjoy what Foxy puts together, and then I do start to think about, as I'm watching all the different cuts and all this stuff, I'm like, man, this must take forever to cut this all together.
Yeah, it takes some time. I've been actually coming in early to get them done, so I don't have to do them after the show, and it's actually been a very good mix-up. So this one has SummerSlam stuff in it. You're going to want to see it.
There's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff here in this particular one. And by the way, I think we're starting a new YouTube page.
Whoa!
Yes. I've been thinking about that pretty heavily here while I'm locked down in my COVID cave over here. We need a place for all our behind-the-scenes footage to live.
Right. Because, like, in this vlog, for example, we have a game of U-Ball, and I only cut up a couple, like, maybe 30 seconds of it. This is a 10-minute game, and it's one of the best games we've ever played. Yeah. I think people would want to see that.
Yeah, not just that, too. There's conversations that happen, and it'll all live, like, if we make a doc 10 years from now, all this shit will find its way in there. But when Foxy has to edit for this doc 10 years from now, it's going to be a nightmare. So we almost want to have, like, a public Rolodex of our shit. I think,
Smart.
right? That's kind of how we're viewing it.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think that's what we're going to create another YouTube channel for, I believe. Now, this is big dog shit in the YouTube world to create another one, and there's a good chance it is going to do terribly. But I think that is what we are going to do, AJ Hawk.
Nice. Hey, I think you should. You have so much out there, so much content. Yeah, why not? You can definitely support another page. But what is U-Ball exactly?
Ooh.
Oh,
you wouldn't get it.
You wouldn't get it, dude.
You wouldn't get it.
Is it like when you play, like, kill the guy with the ball when you're a kid?
No.
Show them a clip. Can you? Too many computers.
Is this only you guys that play it, or what?
Let me send one to Z.
Yeah, it is an office-only game.
Yeah, we kind of invented it. There is a game called U-Ball, but ours is actually called U-Ball. It's a little different.
Yeah, the U-Ball, which is just U, the letter B-A-L-L.
Yes.
Did inspire U-Ball, which is not me, but you.
You.
Because you are the most important part of U-Ball to not fuck it up.
What kind of ball do you play with?
Tiny little one, like a state fair type ball.
Mm-hmm. State fair? What are you talking about?
It's like a carny game, to be honest with you.
Like a baseball shaped like a football? What's it shaped like?
No, it's a basketball, but it's like palm size. I don't know.
It's like, it's like one of those basketballs you would win, like as a prize, like a little team basketball.
Oh, Pop-A-Shot ball.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's actual ball, though. It's not like...
bullshit.
Yeah. And you shoot from like half court, and it's this tiny little hoop. It's an impossible shot. And then there's tips in there. It's an office-only game, to be honest.
Okay,
that sounds like fun.
I apologize for this clip because it's definitely a highlight of what Connor and I did, but it's the only one I had on my phone. So here we go.
Bingo. Oh, no. Right back. Oh, no. What?
There's the game.
That's U-Ball, baby.
That's U-Ball.
Yeah, that's 42. I grew up playing that. We'd play two guys. You know what 42 is, though?
33, 21, 42, depending upon where you grew up at.
Where you tip it to each other 3 times, and you dunk, you get like 3 points. You tap it in, you get 1 or 2, like that.
Yes, it's like that, but involves now like a carny style hoop and ball and a half court shot.
Yeah, win by 2. You can also lose points. It's very complicated.
It's awesome. I grew up playing that in our drive. We had the cops called on us multiple times because I'd be with Mike Nugent and his brother and my brother, and we'd play 2-on-2, 42 until like 3 a.m. and it'd be super loud outside. So it was fun. But we would lower the hoop so you could go and dunk tip. You'd always want to get dunk tips.
Well, you can get a dunk tip. It doesn't mean it's going to do anything better for you, though. The big thing is if you airball, you lose a point. That's potentially a 2-point swing.
Yeah.
So
there shouldn't be any airballs, though, really.
Well, like
go back and show that shot again.
Yeah.
Show that shot. Show where Diggs was shooting from. So he's shooting.
Okay. You only shoot from that spot. You don't. In 42, we move around the 3-point line.
No, yeah, you only shoot from that spot. It is a fucking long haul, and then there's that light right above the hoop. It gets in the way on a regular basis. It's a great game.
I need to play that. Next time I'm there, I need to play.
You can play the reigning champs, me and Diggs. That's all we do.
Who do I got? Who's my teammate? Mitt?
Yep.
Yeah, Mitt's very good at U-Ball. You should definitely play with Mitt.
I'll take Mitt.
Awesome.
Mitt, I believe in you.
Mitt's the worst U-Ball player we got.
How?
He can't hit the fucking backboard. He's a negative point scoring machine.
Yeah. If it was golf, if the rules were like golf, he would be Tiger Woods.
You know who's actually good at the game but never really gives an effort, I don't think, or who would be great at the game? Zito.
Mm-hmm. I do like U-Ball a lot.
That boy Zito.
Thank you, Barrio.
Thank you.
Then why are you loafing then? Why does Pat say you're loafing out there?
He doesn't try. He just doesn't play.
Yeah.
Zito doesn't play. Like, whenever we were playing basketball, where were we playing? We're playing
5 a lot.
5. When we're playing, Zito has an actual jumper, but for whatever reason, he just, anytime it's his time to shot, he like closes his eyes, does a trick shot fadeaway. It's like, Zito, just shoot the fucking ball.
I always pull my back. I always pull my back like I'm Larry Bird.
He does. That is true. I heard you guys talk about Soldier Field getting ruined by Kanye last night.
Yikes.
I tried to watch all the Donda videos this morning that were on Twitter because I don't have the Apple Music thing. AJ, have you kept up with this Donda shit?
Just like you, through clips online and the little stuff. I saw Kim Kardashian was wearing a wedding dress. What were they, recreating the wedding?
AJ was saying he knew Marilyn Manson was going to be on a few weeks ago.
Correct. Oh, come on.
Wait, was Marilyn part of the show?
Yeah.
Here comes another person that is unstick-up-forable.
Yep.
Let's remember that.
And let's remember that I didn't even know he was there, for the record, so you can try to see who brought this guy up, not me.
Well, it's Gumpy, obviously. I mean, that's what Gumpy's going to do. He's going to bring his toxicity down south through the border to Indiana. But yeah, the baby Marilyn Manson and Kanye sitting on the front porch of a recreation of Kanye's house in the middle of Soldier Field is something I never thought I'd see, to be honest. But it looked like that whole place was sold out. Allegedly, Donda's already made $12 million. Is that just from the ticket sales, you think?
Ticket sales and merch.
What if this is just like, this is what Donda is? It's not an actual album.
Yeah, it's a
It's
show.
an experience. You're right.
Yeah.
It's like an ever-changing, ever-flowing. He's going to always mix up the songs and add people and take some away. Like maybe this, you're right. Maybe we're witnessing a whole change in what music is right now.
You see, that's what I have a couple edibles all of a sudden for the first time in 3 days, and I think I start piecing together Kanye's brain a little bit. You know, what Kanye always wants to innovate and change and redo and tear down and rebuild. You know, if you listen to that Rogan interview, this seems like something he would want to do, right? Is change the entire music thing. Everybody waits for an album, then goes on tour. What if I go on tour before the album and then just make that the tour and sell out entire stadiums with it? I'm not sure there's a lot of humans that can do this, by the way. But I think it's...
I don't know if there's anyone else that could do this. Is there anyone else that could sell out Soldier Field for a listening party where you're not even performing?
He was performing. What are you talking about? He lit himself on fire last night.
He was performing like that, but he was not performing his songs. He was just playing a track of the songs, right?
Yeah, I don't think he had a microphone on him. I don't think. But does anybody? Ooh, deeper question.
Yeah, I don't know.
Remember we were waiting for a Dr. Dre album forever that we were told was done?
No, that was happening?
Yeah, that was years ago. This happened before, and it never came out.
It was supposed to have like 30 artists on it and stuff like that. It just never happened.
Did that get caught up in the divorce?
I don't know.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
The ex-wife being like, "Oh yeah, it's my album too."
I mean, it sounds like they're having some heavy disagreements over splitting up, aren't they?
Well, I believe it is a monetary issue.
Yeah.
I believe. But it sounds like they're not on the same page at all. T's and P's to love, by the way. Hopefully they work that whole thing out. I guess he didn't come on the stage come out of the house or whatever until 1:45 a.m.
Jesus.
So is he paying all that overtime to the union? How's he doing that?
Yeah. Now, what about all the people that are like driving the cars and running the miles and everything like that? That is quite. They said it made $12 million. I'm like, how much is it netted though?
True.
Because it feels like the amount of money that is being spent. I don't know how much Apple's paying him though. Apple's got to be paying him a bunch of money. He was the Truman Show there for a bit.
Yeah.
At the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So I assume he's making bank off of this thing. But I would like to hear the full album because there's a couple songs that sound like they go a little bit.
Yeah. Me too, but I'm almost just convinced now that, to your point, he might just be doing this, and that's the only way you're going to hear it is if you go to one of these goddamn stadiums.
Smart, by the way.
Wait, where's he going to put it though? What platform will host his album?
Probably Apple.
Seems like Apple is where he's at right now.
Okay, but he won't do Spotify. Will he license it to other places or just Apple? You think?
Well, remember they used to be on that other one. What was that other
Tidal?
Yeah, it was on there
Tidal,
forever. It says September 3rd for the release, but I mean, it also said August 26th.
So he's competing with Drake?
Yeah, that's Drake, right? Because he dropped this morning on ESPN September 3rd for Mr. Loverboy or Call Me Loverboy or
Certified Loverboy.
So sorry, Drizzy. I know you're watching. I apologize. I can't wait for your album.
Oh yeah, didn't he follow you?
Yeah, he still does too. By the way,
Let's
I think.
go.
Unless he unfollowed me due to COVID, which would be kind of fucked up if I both lost, all my sheets, my time with my wife and friends, and Drizzy's follow. That'd be tough if COVID did that, but I mean, awesome. I guess worse has happened. Hopefully, he has some bangers in there, though. I need it, man.
He will. One or two.
I need somebody go in there and fucking go, dude. I need somebody to go on a track, AJ.
Hey, do you like any? I know you like stuff to work out. You need all that music motivation. Do you listen to any of that like death metal, bang your head off the wall type stuff?
Rammstein.
Yeah, hold on. Let me go through. I have a couple that have made its way onto the list. I'm going through it right now. No, I don't.
Rammstein goes.
Yeah, me either.
Rammstein?
Yeah.
Du Hast?
Yeah.
Du Hast, Mitch? That's techno, right?
Yeah.
Oh, then I'm thinking of a different one. Rammstein, though, has some bangers.
I'll fuck with Du Hast. I was actually in Jay, was I in Germany or Austria?
Both, I think.
Yeah, but I think I was in Germany whenever I was a teenager when Du Hast came out.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think so too, actually.
That was probably a time.
It was, because they were playing it before every single game, every halftime of every game, after every game, every basic stadium was playing it. And I was like, God, I have no idea what this is, but this is a fucking heater. And then like a couple months later, it got back to America, and I looked like a G when I was like, dude.
Du Hast.
Du Hast. I'm like, yeah, I heard this a couple months ago over in Germany, dude. No big deal. I was fucking flexing on all those teachers, little bum ass teachers in Plum.
97 it came out.
So maybe I didn't. Maybe I learned of it in Germany long before it came to America, or maybe Plum found out about it. But no, I got nothing on my workout thing here. Freaks by Timmy Trumpet.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's Du Hast right there. That is a little bit, I guess, huh? And then
Hey, I got a question for Connor though.
Go ahead.
Connor, what's that movie where your boy Matt Damon, he makes a cameo and he gets up and he sings some death metal song, and that's like the only time he's in the movie?
First of all, he is not my boy, and we need to clarify that forever. He is basically approaching the undefendable category, and I believe it's Euro Trip. Scotty doesn't know.
Mm-hmm. You're right. Good. All right. Good. Yeah, I could picture it. I just didn't know the name of it.
Yeah.
Scotty does it.
Hey, no, that's
doing it every Sunday. So she goes it. So she does it. No. She's on her knees, and Scotty doesn't know.
Scotty does it.
Dragula is in here.
Oh.
I got Dragula in there. A little Rob Zombie. I'll get after a little Rob Zombie. I enjoy him. I actually stayed in a hotel, and the floor that I was on was dedicated to Rob Zombie.
Wow,
sweet.
Pretty fascinating.
Did he stay in that room?
Just the whole floor. I'm not sure. The whole floor though had like pictures of him, drawings of him, guitars of him. He's a maniac. You know what else I want to like? Powerball 5000 or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Man 5000.
What was it?
Power Man 5000.
Yeah, them. There it is. What is it? What is the name of that song?
Oh, fuck.
Yep.
It's a heater, dude. Hold on.
I can't remember the name of the song. I just remember that he was Rob Zombie's cousin.
Was he really? I did not know that.
The first time it pops up is when Worlds Collide.
Oh, yeah. It's like when worlds collide. You go in with me, because I'm going with you.
Yeah, I feel like I'm there. I feel like I'm at a concert.
Is that what you listen to?
No, people would always, especially when I had long hair, everyone assumed I loved all the death metal, all that stuff, and that's never been my thing. So,
Bullshit.
No.
Did you ever have a teammate that loved it though? Like they get a hold of the aux, and then all of a sudden you got fucking Metallica coming after blah blah blah.
You guys ever heard of Evan Dietrich Smith?
Yeah,
of course.
I would.
Sue stepped on him, right?
Yeah. O-line in Green Bay. And old Dietrich, he'd come in and try to turned the music instantly in the weight room over to Hiss, just crazy death metal, and he was so passionate about it, and nobody else on the team was passionate about it, but he was, and he would put up a good fight every time, I think.
Some of those White Boy Wednesdays would get a little dramatic. Some of those White Boy Wednesdays in the gym would turn into, are we going super country here? Are we going hard metal? Or are we going Sinatra? Vinatieri would grab that thing because he had seniority, and he'd put on Sinatra just to fuck with everybody. Even though he loved rap and got down with country and rock and everything, he would put on some Sinatra because there was literally nothing anybody could say to him. And then I would look at him like, can I at least, I'm trying to get better. Like, I can't with this. Oh, you don't like it? He starts fake dancing. I mean, that Oxford in the locker room, in the gym, in the weight room, in the NFL locker rooms is such a real thing. Such a real thing.
I wonder how the Eagles handle it. I wonder, like, Sirianni, I'm sure he has a special way that he handles, like, who gets to choose the music in the locker room and weight room.
I control music. No one gets a say in it. We listen to what I want to listen to, and that's just the way it goes. We listen to the Rocky IV soundtrack. AJ's best friend, Ross Tucker, came on. He said, I love Rocky IV. We listened to the training montage song from the Rocky IV soundtrack on repeat in the locker room and in the weight room. And until, I see a reason to change it, that's what we're going to do day in, day out.
Yeah. Coach just described my high school experience in the locker room and the weight room. We listened to the Rocky IV soundtrack on repeat, not because the coach made us.
I almost just died. I almost just coughed up a bunch of stuff there and died because of Coach Sirianni. So shout out to Coach for that. Did you take any calls on a 5-hour energy phone line? How were the callers today?
We did. You want to jump out to a guy right now?
You got like 2 minutes before that vlog, I think.
I know. Hey, let's do. Is Kurt in Iowa still there, Nick? Can you get him on the line?
We got Kurt.
Kurt, what's happening, bud? What's on your mind, pal?
Hey, AJ, boys. Pat, hope you're feeling well.
Thank you, dude.
So, with all the success that Trevor Lawrence has had throughout his college career, if he goes as he's in Jacksonville now, if he just stinks on ice because the team's bad, is he going to be what have you done for me lately and be done, or is another team going to give him a chance? What do you think?
Stinks on ice, dude. I like that a lot. If he stinks on ice, I need to start using that a little bit more. There's been a lot of first-round draft pick quarterbacks that have stunk and just kind of faded off into the island of irrelevancy. Don't you? In that, your thoughts, AJ?
Yeah, it definitely happens. But I mean, you hear like Trevor Lawrence, all that he has. I'm sure you probably heard the pundits talk about his floor is much higher than a lot of other people's. I've heard people say like his worst case scenario. I've heard people lay out, which it's not, but is that he's like a 10, 12 year starter in Jacksonville. He has a solid, he has like a really good career, but people are like, oh yeah, Trevor Lawrence, he was really good there. He didn't play as well as we thought he would with all the hype coming out of college. And then on the flip side, his ceiling is like, all right, we got another Peyton Manning.
Yeah, Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning. You got to hope, obviously, that happens, but the only Peyton Manning or Tom Brady we got is AJ Hawk. Thanks for filling in this week, dude. You're the absolute best, bro.
Appreciate it, man. Hopefully you're coming through the other side right now. You're about to beat this thing. So.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Here we go.
Come on, Pat.
I think so. With that in 15 minutes, right? I mean, I can't wait to watch that before tonight's SmackDown on Fox.
Can't wait to see who's sitting in your seat.
Me neither. They're going to be better than me, just like you were, pal. I appreciate you all so much. Bye.